Hey there, everyone. Just letting you know, during our game of the episode, which happens towards the end right before our top 5, things get a little vulgar. So if you're not okay with excessive profanity, I'd encourage you to simply skip that part when it comes up. Thanks again, and enjoy the show. On tonight's episode of the Gamecasters, we talk about the games we've played recently, we do another board game beatdown for you, and then end the show with our top 5 heavy games. Stay tuned. Hello there, gamers, and welcome back to the podcast that's every bit as relevant as VCRs, fax machines, slide projectors, landlines, dial-up internet, cursive handwriting, floppy disks, beepers, CDs, phone booths, travel agents, the Encarta, flip phones, the word psych, and paying for porn. Cool beans?
Oh my God.
I'm your host, that's all that in a bag of chips, Ryan, and with me is Gag Me With a Spoon, Natalie, and the home skillet himself, Jeff the Bogue Board Gamer. Remember the word Bogue?
Yeah, you're Bogue.
You're Bogue, that's Bogue. Yeah, Gag Me With a Spoon, that's like a phrase that people don't say anymore. You're so young.
I don't know that.
We have an absolutely grody show lined up for you, so talk to the hand-eye, because it's time to get jiggy with us in episode 44. Bout it.
Oh my God.
The world is on its ass right now, but the one constant you can rely on is us here to make you roll your eyes and almost turn us off, but then remember that Jeff and Natalie are also here, and they're at least sane, normal, and funny, so 2 out of 3 ain't bad. We want to be your final destination for... No, we want to never again have you listen to us without fear of retribution at not being able to recall exactly what we know. We sincerely want you to burn in hell. No, we hope you enjoy the show. So, Jeff, what's up, dude?
Wow.
How's it going?
Man.
Have you been watching anything watch-worthy?
No.
Lately?
It's funny.
You guys not on TV right now?
I type up this, like, you know, just stuff I want to talk about and things about the games. And under, like, our banter section, I have, like, nothing. I just, like, left a space. I'm like, maybe I'll think of something.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so we did start watching this goofy thing on Netflix just this morning called The Floor is Lava.
Oh, like the old game?
The kids
that
play
you
that all the time.
Yeah, so it's like the old game, but they set up this gigantic room, and they have, like, it's not real lava, obviously. It's just like red water, but and it's like spewing
but it's
everywhere.
hot and burns
and
you.
They set up like this maze in the room where you have to like jump from like pieces of furniture, and it's like this contest between these groups of people trying to get to the.
They're adults?
Yeah, they're adults. So they're adults that go from like a couch to a bed and have to knock something over to like get to the finish line, sort of. So it's really goofy. We watched that.
Wait, how
watched
does
2
that,
episodes.
When you're flipping through Netflix, is that what happened? Like you were just like, the floor is lava, let's check this out. Or did someone tell you about it?
It advertised it. Like
Oh,
it was,
I gotcha.
as soon as we turned
see
it
the
on, it
little
advertised
trailer
right at the top, and we were like, all right, well, let's just
Why
click
not?
it.
Let's check it out.
Yeah.
Is there anybody famous in there?
No.
Because it would be funny if it was like Danny DeVito.
Yeah, right. Like a celebrity division.
Trying to
Yeah, you have a huge disadvantage if you're
Danny
4
DeVito?
feet tall. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not good.
Or if you're one of our Peter Dinklage listeners.
Yeah, that's all. We're watching Community. So we started Community recently.
right.
Oh yeah, you asked me if we watched that.
Because
That's right.
yeah, because we love 30 Rock and we love The Office and we love Parks and Rec. So this show, I felt like people always say, oh, you should watch Community as well.
Yeah, it's like the next step
And-
down, right?
I would agree.
It's like you start with The Office.
Yeah.
The next step down is Parks and Rec, but it's still so awesome. And maybe the next step down is Community. But it's probably still
I would
really
say
funny.
I would put like Parks and Rec, The Office, 30 Rock are all in that top tier category. Community's next, but it's still funny.
Yeah,
like
it's
Ken
still a
Jeong
good
is
show.
really funny. I think Ken Jeong is really funny.
Yeah,
For some reason.
that
I do
show?
too.
No, he's not in it as he's not like the main person. I think it's like what's his name, Kevin Hale, something
Or
Nathan Hale. I just made that
what's
up.
his name?
Nathan Hale's he's like
That's what we're trying to figure out.
an old traitor in the American
his last name
Revolution
is Hale.
time.
He was like a talk show guy on like E.
Yeah, so but it's funny. It's got a lot of like really good moments in it, and Chevy Chase is in it. Chevy Chase is.
Oh, he
Chevy
is?
Chase.
Yeah.
Actually,
Oh.
who
So they're all
was
going to
it?
community college. So like
Oh, okay.
Chevy Chase is there.
So that's what
yeah.
Community is. Okay,
Yes.
that makes sense.
So that's pretty funny.
It's really about Joel McHale.
Joel
McHale.
McHale, something. Yeah.
There's a Hale in there.
Was I close there?
I typed in, what did you guys say originally?
As in Nathan Hale.
I typed in Nathan Hale and it did
American
nothing.
Revolution,
No, you said Kevin Hale.
Kevin Hale.
Go Kevin Hale.
Yeah, all that came up was how to evaluate startup ideas from Kevin Hale. It's just a random YouTube
good.
guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, he's an investor. Okay.
And Allison Breeze in that show.
Oh yeah, Alison Brie. I
Those are
like.
most of the people you've heard of.
I like her too.
Yeah, you do.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what you would know her from. She was like in Mad Men. She's in that Glow show.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's right. I think she shows her personality.
Yes, she does.
in that
Oh, that's
show.
who it was. I was listening to a podcast with Allison Brie on it. That's who it was. And she was talking about Community, and she said that basically like Chevy Chase in that show was like a jerk.
I've heard that about
Like
him.
he was like,
he's like the biggest
on
dick.
set,
I've
he was,
heard,
like, really,
I've heard he's a jerk on set, but like the dude is so talented that
Right.
people just ignore it.
Like, all right.
He's a jerk
Right.
apparently.
Yeah, I've heard that
but
too.
He's still awesome.
Yeah.
I think he's so funny.
Yeah.
All the
Yeah.
National Lampoon stuff is just too good.
Christmas
It's good stuff.
Vacation, Yeah.
Yeah. What do you
Yeah,
guys
I've heard
watching?
that. I've heard that from I think when he was on Saturday Night Live, or maybe he was just a guest on there. I can't remember if he was an actual cast member, but I heard he was.
yeah.
the
But yeah.
big
He
jerk.
was, yeah.
Yeah, we've been watching Billions again.
Yeah, there's
so
a new
we're
season
into
of
the new
Billions.
season, and it's amping up. The show has Damian
great
Lewis,
show.
Paul Giamatti, and chess legend Hikaru Nakamura, whose name makes me fondly recall my time watching the brilliant anime Rurouni Kenshin about famed samurai Kenshin Himura, notoriously known around Japan as Batosai the Manslayer. So, dude, watching this
What did Ryan just say?
latest episode
I don't know, but that
reminded
chess player
me of the
is,
intense
that chess player is in
battle
it for like 5 seconds.
between
he has like one line in
Kenshin
one
and the members of the
episode.
Shinsengumi, mostly how Hajime Saito, the Wolf of Nibu, used to carve up his opponents using Axoxan, you know? Seeing Bobby Axelrod
This is what
destroy...
you're talking about
Yeah, it
with
is.
Chaz.
It is.
No, because he always used to do this. He would watch anime and then he would text me and our friend, and he would just like
Nonsense crap that
yeah,
only I
he'd be like, "Oh yeah, last night on Rurouni Kenshin, blah blah blah," and say all this stuff, and we're like, "Shut up, we don't care."
Like this, seeing Bobby Axelrod destroy his hedge fund brethren is oddly similar to how Makoto Shishio and the Jupangatsuna went after Kenshin, Sanosuke, and Yahiko at the headquarters of the Oniwaban, only to, of course, fall when
Right.
Saijiro Hiko showed up to destroy Fuji, the Destruction Army. It's a great show.
Someone out there knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
If you watch Rurouni Kenshin,
This
get
is
me
the
on the
pod-
Gamecasters podcast at gmail.com and just give me an LOL or something like that. It's something.
yeah, it is a great show though, and it has
Billions.
that.
Billions, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I watched this chess guy, Hikaru Nakamura, and I've been watching him for I don't know over a year now. Like he does a Twitch stream, and I found out he was going to be on Billions, and I'm like, we love that show, and so we saw him on there, and it was just kind of cool to see
Yeah,
those
like
two
someone
worlds
was out
kind of
So he's like a
come
background.
together.
He's like walks by. Or
No,
is it
there's this part where one of these, because these hedge fund, the show's all about billionaires basically.
Yeah.
And so there's these hedge fund people, and he's at this chess.
well, like one of them went
tournament.
to go talk to this guy, and the guy's like at this chess tournament, and there's like a bunch of what is there like 8 chess
He's playing.
boards?
Yeah, Hikaru is playing like 8 people at once.
Right. So the guy, the
But it's like in the- it's
character,
like in the
is
background.
just sitting there in front of a chessboard, and the chess guy, I don't know even.
Hikaru
know his name.
Nakamura?
Yeah, him. He's just walking
Yeah, him.
around to all the 8 tables, like making moves, playing chess with all 8 of them at the same time. Let's like walk around. Like,
Is he, like, the
Which is
best?
something they do.
Is he like ranked? Is there like a
he's
ranking?
ranked. He's ranked. He at one point he was the number 2 in the world. Now he's like number 18 or something like that, which is still ridiculously high.
he's slipping.
He's what's called a super grandmaster, which is like the grandmaster is the highest rank you can attain in chess. And if you're a super grandmaster it's like it's even like another level up.
yeah.
Who's number one? That
Magnus
that computer?
Carlsen.
Yeah, really
douche.
alpha going.
Yeah, what was that computer that tried to beat everybody?
Yeah, Deep Blue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
computer's number one.
yeah. Magnus Carlsen, Natalie's favorite guy, is number 1. And yeah, Hikaru is he's an American chess player.
Do you want to
even though
know
he's
what the
Japanese.
definition of douche is? You hold
Sure.
a chess tournament in your name, that you name it Magnus Carlsen chess tournament or whatever, and then you win it.
Is that what he does?
Yes.
Does he do it every year, like all the time?
So he's holding right now. It's like,
I was like,
it's
of
called the
course
Magnus
he
Carlsen
did.
Invitational, and there's like a bunch of different tournaments within this that he hosts.
Did he
And
win
he's-
money?
He won. Yeah.
Yeah,
He just
well,
went-
exactly.
Why would he do that? Come on. That's ridiculous.
It's so funny. He's so good. He's so good.
That's like if Kanye West like held like the Grammys and just gave himself awards over and over and over
The
again.
does
Kanye
that
West
anyway.
Best
Grammys,
album
Kanye
is
West wins.
College Dropout. Yeah. Do. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. It's it's been awesome watching chess and then seeing chess coalesce. Is that the right word? Into Billions was pretty cool as well. So. That's really all we've been watching.
Yeah, we haven't really been watching much.
Yeah, it's a great
And
show.
we're still
You
watching.
started that, no? Or
We
did you?
haven't started it yet. It's on. Is it Showtime?
Yeah, it's Showtime.
We don't have a Showtime app, so we have HBO. So we watch HBO stuff.
We just bought Showtime.
We pay for it through Amazon Prime like we do with HBO, and then we
Sure.
just
And then once
cancel
it
it
ends
when
over,
we're done
we cancel
watching
it.
Okay.
Billions.
Yeah.
So is it on?
a life hack.
It's like on weekly.
Yeah,
Like you have to.
yeah, it's on right now. Well,
Well,
I mean, you could watch the first 3 seasons. I
4
think.
seasons, and then by the time you'd finish that, the 5th one would be done. It's on
Right.
like episode 7 already.
Okay. I do want to watch it.
It's amazing.
Okay.
It might
Yeah.
be. It's in that top echelon. Like you'd watch it and you'd be like, okay. I mean, Damian Lewis and Paul Giamatti are the main characters.
Paul Giamatti is one of my favorites.
Yeah, and Damian, I didn't really know Damian
not
Lewis,
even
but he's now like one. I'm like, wow, he's good.
And I think he's better.
Is
I
he
think
in
he is too.
Band of Brothers. He's the guy from Band of Brothers.
He's like a,
Andy? He's in something else too. Is he in
probably.
Looking it up right now.
something on Showtime? It's called Homeland. Is he in Homeland?
Oh, I think so.
He's in the first season of Homeland. Okay, now I know.
I wanted to start because now that we're paying for Showtime to watch this, and it only comes out once a week. I wanted to watch
Homeland's
Homeland
really good.
since we got it. Yeah, he is.
I don't know if I've ever finished Homeland, but the first couple seasons of Homeland's really good.
Band of Brothers was the one was what I knew him from. And
He plays Steve McQueen in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah, he is in Homeland.
Oh, I should tell you about this weird show I'm watching too.
Yes.
So now I'm watching.
Wait, The Floor is Lava is not the weird show?
Yeah, well, no.
Weird one.
So there's this show. It's on TNT or TBS or something. So just cable.
Dynamite.
It's called Turdy Works.
Like poop.
Like
Purdy
poop.
Works?
It's about this
Like
woman
Hot
who
Sloopy
lives
Pooty
in
Doopy Smooch?
yeah. It's this woman that lives in Maine who goes and collects moose turds and turns them into like stuff, like sells like poop earrings or like turd necklaces or like number 2 pencils. Get it? Number 2 pencils.
Oh my
With like
God.
a turd on it.
Does she have like a store
And-
full of poop products?
Yeah, there's like online. She goes to
So
like
what is it?
farmers
Petrify
markets,
and then you can mold
Yeah,
it?
she like dehydrates it and like
Why would
shines it
somebody
up with
want
stuff.
that?
And
I wonder
I
why
think it's-
moose? Because they're huge?
They're like they're like half a chicken nugget sized turds, like chicken nugget
Yeah,
sized.
it's not as
turds.
big as I thought.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think moose because they're just everywhere, so she can go get them for free.
Oh.
Oh, because she lives in
Where-
Alaska?
in
no, she lives in Maine.
Oh, and there's moose in Maine? The Maine moose.
We're going to go to Maine one day.
I thought moose only existed in Alaska for some reason and other parts of Canada.
Turdy Works has proven you wrong.
Turdy Works, the
they
Maine
just
moose.
live
It's
it's
so
so cold.
it's just funny. Like she goes to these little fairs and she'll sell these turds and she makes these like funny.
Do people
poop
know they're
jokes all the
buying
time.
turds?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, it says like moose poop. She has like a poo poo clock, so instead of the numbers, there's just turds around
my
the thing.
God.
It's funny. It's got to be gag gifts. You buy them as like,
Yeah,
It would
for
be funny
sure.
to go to like a white elephant at Christmas and bring like a number 2 pencil with a turd on it. Like that
would be
yeah,
funny.
Yeah, you're right.
Although- So, that's weird.
Is she married in the show?
Yes.
Is her husband like crazy about turd?
Well, okay.
Because can you imagine being married to this woman? You are in. I mean, you got to deal with more than like.
You're
how
like,
did this
well,
person come up
it's
with
her
this
life's
business?
passion.
So
Right, exactly.
she is
Well,
married.
she
She
just loves
has
her poop.
she has a wife. So
Okay.
her wife and
Okay, or her
daughter.
wife, yeah, sure.
So it's her wife, and her daughter.
They all.
Her and her wife run the company, kind of.
Gotcha.
But none of them are as obsessed with turds as this main
Maybe
character,
her
Mary,
wife
is.
is like running the business part, and
Oh my! And there was
Yeah,
like
I feel like her wife's got to be like, well, I married her, so
Yep. One of the
into
episodes
it.
you just watched, it was a career day at the daughter's school. So
Oh, no.
the woman came in
Brought
with
her moose turd mom?
Oh yeah, it was hilarious.
Oh,
the kid, so
here's moose
she
turd
was like,
mom.
just mortified that mom
Yeah.
came in with a bunch
Mom,
of
please
turds.
don't.
But all the kids thought it was like the funniest
coolest,
thing
funniest
ever.
thing
It was just
ever.
so
Of course,
funny.
yeah.
I would think it's funny.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wonder, when on the outside it's hilarious, but on the inside, is it quite as funny?
Yeah.
Like if the mom's just like, "What are you doing?" "I'm just in the office building my new thing," and she's just got like buckets of moose poop in there, and ooh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just goofy. So
that's awesome.
that's the
Found some
crap that I'm
interesting
watching.
shows,
Oh, damn!
Yeah.
Good night, everybody. That's all we have for today. Wow. Okay, Natalie, do you have anything you want to banter up in our banter section while you're on the spot?
It is today's Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to both of you.
Thank you very much. As of the
Thank
day of this
you.
recording, it is
And
Father's Day.
Yeah.
My dad, we went golfing yesterday, me and my sister and brother-in-law and my dad, and I beat them all.
Yes.
She did. She came home and she was like,
Dancing like Enrique.
"Guess what?" Yeah.
No, I was not.
And I was like, "What'd you like? Shoot 101?" She's like, "Nope, 100."
Yeah,
And I was like,
so
"Oh,
good.
right."
It doesn't matter. You won.
yeah. Yep, that was really fun. It was a very hot day. We were sweating our butts off.
Yeah, it was like 90. It was
Yeah.
like in the 90s.
Yeah.
It's gross.
There's
Ugh.
like certain golf etiquette that I think people should follow, and so this one guy
Like,
made
don't
me
poop on the
really
course?
mad. No, like he was like blasting rap music on his golf cart, and it was like super annoying because
Why specify rap? Just wondering.
Well, I would say like if he was like playing like I don't
Something
know.
you liked, then it's
No, some,
Classical music.
Yeah.
I don't care that people play music, but it's disrupting other people and it's really
Yeah,
inconsiderate.
for sure.
And then it's not just like
Oh, it was vulgar is
It's
what
not
you
like
were saying.
Journey or something. Where you could like, I could just kind of like relax while I focus on my ball. No, it's like I'm I don't even think I can say the words they were saying.
Wow.
Like I was just like, what the heck? No. So yeah, that was really annoying. And plus, that same guy who was blasting the rap music, I think, hit my dad's ball because he hit it into like our hole, and my dad couldn't find his ball, and it was like we saw him hit a ball that was like right where my dad hit his, and so we're like, oh, this guy sucks. And then he comes by later with this like rap music blaring while we're like trying to like focus and like hit a ball, and it's I was very close to saying something to him.
Like, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna be like, nothing.
Excuse me,
I don't want
sir?
to tell you because it's embarrassing now.
I want to know. Yeah.
We're trying to golf.
Please turn this down.
I know. In my head, I'm like,
Excuse me.
I'm gonna say something, and I was like, what would I say? I'd be like,
You'd Karen
hey,
it
we're
up.
golfing over here.
Hey, listen here,
Trying to
pal.
golf over-
We're trying to putt. We're trying to putt. Did you hear me? Okay, turn your
Could you please
music
keep
down.
it down? Yeah, see this? You're not the only one here, sir.
You gosh darn whippersnapper, turn it down.
Do you want me to bring over the manager? Do they have managers here? I will
wanted
bring the
to.
manager.
I will get the man in the cart to come
This
over here.
rap-
Yeah, we were
filthy
gonna
rap
tell the man
music.
in the cart, but there wasn't one
The authorities are
because
off
of
that day.
COVID.
I love the. I almost said something too.
I was like, I'm gonna say
He made me
something.
so mad. I'm just gonna say something.
Excuse me.
You almost
Excuse me, sir, in
Karen'd
the
it up.
pink shirt. I'd rather not hear the words dick and bitch when I'm golfing. Thank you.
Whoa, they're the words.
Yeah, there they go. She wasn't gonna not say them.
Yeah.
How did Frankie do? I'm interested to know.
Well, she's newer at golf, and she did fine.
Yeah.
She doesn't like to keep score a lot of times. I think she likes to see how it starts out, and then she's like, I'm going to just not keep score.
Yeah.
And then
If she's doing great, she'll keep score. I understand not
Yeah.
wanting to keep score,
Yeah,
especially
right.
if you're
I
new,
totally
especially if
get
you're
she was
newer.
getting like frustrated.
Because you don't want it to be
a lot.
about the score, because you'll just think about, now I'm going to suck.
Yeah, she was getting frustrated, and so it's just she said it makes her less stressed out if she's not keeping score and just like hitting the ball. But she was getting mad. If you know my sister,
She's a little hot-headed at times.
yeah, she gets a little she gets like a little temper. And it's funny. There was this one time a few years ago, we were golfing, and she got mad, and she like threw her club,
Oh,
and then
damn.
like
It hit
she didn't
somebody?
notice that Kyle, her husband now, was right behind her, and he literally like matrix ducked, or else it would have hit him. He was like, whoa, and she was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, and I'm just like dying laughing, like, oh my god,
Classic Frankie.
that's why you don't throw clubs, Frankie. Ha ha ha.
That's why you
Yeah,
don't
don't
throw clubs.
You always leave a note.
That's why you don't yell.
But it was really funny. They were like,
Was Kyle coaching her?
yeah, I mean,
boy.
I
I
don't
hated
know
that.
if he was trying to coach her. He was trying to get her to calm down. I heard a couple, in the distance, I heard him say like, just calm down. Shut up, Kyle. Don't tell me to calm down. And me and my dad are just driving away like, oh boy, we're just going to
That's the
go.
worst thing you can do when someone's mad. Calm down.
I know.
Okay.
And Kyle's just so like even
Why does
and
anyone
laid
ever think
back.
that'll work?
He's like, it's all right.
Does anyone
Frankie,
who's
calm."
angry get told to calm down and then
They're
go,
like,
okay.
oh yeah.
And then they just
You're
calm
right.
down.
I wasn't thinking about it that way. I was
I guess if I just calm down, you're right.
If I just calm down, everything's okay.
Yeah.
You're not helping, Kyle.
Kyle. Damn it, Kyle.
That is so.
Drive the cart.
That is so funny. So we had them over for game night, and we played some games, and Kyle was beating the crap out of us in this one game. And he always says, he's like, when I'm winning, I have more fun being mean to Frankie.
He always just wants to beat Frankie.
And then he's like, and she has fun if she wins, and then if she doesn't win, sometimes it'll be okay, but if I win, she hates it.
There was one
It
point
was
too,
funny.
like we were kind of all joking around, trash talking Kyle, which you'll hear about soon because of his player power. But there was one point where like Ryan like kind of said something to Kyle, and Frankie's like, "Yeah, keep shit talking him."
Yeah.
She's like your hype man.
Yeah.
Get him. Yeah, get him.
Well, because like he asked, like, so okay, there was this one thing, and I'll explain it a little more. But he would get things from us, but the things he was getting were on our side of the table, so we had to get them for him.
Right. Not
The
only did he
whole
just get him for
game.
free, but
Yeah.
we have to hand it to him.
So after a while, I'd be like, "Here you go, choke on that," and then she was like, "Oh yeah, what do you got now?"
yeah.
Kind of stuff. Oh gosh.
It's just really funny.
So we've been playing some games lately. Have you been playing some games too?
Yep.
So we, this one's not a we, this first one's a me. I have been playing a lot of chess lately, as we talked about. And
With other people.
I've been playing a lot with our good buddy, Dave McCown, Mick Dave Mick, MC Dave MC.
Yeah.
And I've also been playing a lot with our other good buddy, Lewis, Mr.
cool.
Days
1607.
1607.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some numbers.
Awesome guy. Yeah. Him and I have been playing 4 games so far. I realized that I have to take a break after playing something because, dude, it just consumes
your
my
brain?
day. No, it just consumes I can't think about anything else because it's kind of like Words with Friends where you'll play a word and then they have however long, whatever they want to a day.
So you're playing on an app or
words. Yeah, we're playing on chess.com.
Okay.
Yeah, which you can get on your phone or you can play on the computer. So I make a move, and then after I make the move, I'm like, okay, make a move. Come on. And I'm watching it.
waiting.
And I'm just like,
He's constantly checking his phone.
well, and I'm also like, if he does this, I do that. If he does this, I do that. If he does this, I'll go here. If he does that, I go here. If he goes this, what am I going to do? Nothing. I don't know. And then he makes a move, and I'm like, okay. And then I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, he did this. Now if I do this, if I do this, he takes there. Ooh, he got me. And I'm just like, the numbers are crunching like crazy. But there was so many times in this recent game we played where I make a move, and I'm like, you done, son? You can't do anything. And then right before he makes a move, I see the move that he can make that actually kind of screws me over. And of course, he makes that move. And now I'm like, oh my God, now I'm dead. What am I going to do? And so then I sit there for another half hour and then I figure out the move that I'm like, oh yeah, what you going to do now, Lewis? And I make the move and I'm sitting there all smug like Natalie after coming home from golf, winning with 100. And then, and then finally, he makes a move that I'm like, oh, son of a bitch, and it's so fun, so stressful. And it's chess.
Yep.
You wouldn't think you'd get that kind of
you out there,
a high.
Especially Lewis, he's not exaggerating.
Yeah, this
I've
is how
seen
it
him,
works.
he's like, why isn't Lewis making a move? He's taking too long. Oh my gosh, what's he gonna do? I think I got him. Oh no, now he's got me. That literally happened.
Those words are coming out of his mouth. Okay. It's not just in his head.
No.
It's actually verbalized.
Yeah. So okay. So all right. I got to tell you something else about chess.
Okay.
So this is about my dad. So we call him the D. So
For
one
Dad.
day, yeah.
Happy Father's Day, the D.
Yeah, happy
I'm sure
Father's
you'll
Day. The D.
listen.
He texted me a
Father's
little bit
Day.
ago. I got to text him back. So he's like, "Hey," because he's the one that really taught me chess when I was a lad, and I've never beat him before. He's like, I think now is the time I could actually challenge him.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was
I know.
a freak.
I don't think he is. This was when I was
Is he a
kid. He's
grandmaster?
a super He's a super D master.
I heard he passed Nakamura or something. Right? He's now
Hey,
17.
that's actually Hikaru Nakamura. All right, so he's been asking me lately. He's like, why don't we play chess? I'd love to play a game of chess with you. And I'm like, okay. He's like, how do we do that? And I was like, go on your app store, on your phone. Yeah, this is
Classic dad.
I'm like, just download the chess.com app. It's called chess.com on your phone. Make a username and then text me what it is, and I'll challenge you and we'll play. And he's like, awesome.
This was 3
2 weeks later, hey, bud, we should play chess. How do we do that again? Oh, right. And I'm like, did you ever download the chess.com app, like I said? No, but I tried, but I couldn't remember what it was called. And I'm like, okay, well, it's called chess.com. So right after we hang up right now, go to your app store, download the chess.com app. It's the one with the little green meeple, or a little green pawn. I'll send you a screenshot even, and then you can just download it, make a username, and then I'll challenge you and we'll play. Awesome. 2 weeks later. Hey, bud, what's the name of that chess app again? Chess.com. Oh, right. Yeah, whenever I search chess.com, there's 50 chess.coms that show up. Which one do I select? Keep in mind, I've sent him screenshots of the actual icon that he is supposed to be downloading. And there's only one chess.com app. So I'm like, oh, you just select the one that has the little green pawn that says chess.com. Okay, but I'll get that going again. That was a few days ago.
I think in his
I'm still waiting.
Head, you're just saying chess. And he's like, these are all chess.
I know. I feel like I've specifically said, you have to write chess.com.
Yeah, he showed me the screenshot. It was a bunch of apps, and he circled the one that was the
Yeah,
one.
man.
he had to
That actually
get.
says chess.com. So I'm still waiting. It's been months.
You just need to see him and download it for him. That's the only way it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, I
the
even
only
send
way.
him a link. So you can send a link directly from the chess.com app that says, download chess.com. Here's my username. I send him that link. So all he has to do is click the link, and it will take him right to the thing he needs to do. And nothing. We're never going to play.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I don't know. What have you been playing, Jeff?
Well, we've been cruising through Charterstone.
Oh,
I know we talked about that. We're
yeah?
7. I think 7 in
Wow.
now.
How many are there?
12.
Okay.
It's getting more awesome every
It
time
is?
we play
I
it.
was
Yeah,
wondering
it's
that.
getting really cool. There's a lot
Because
more
you're unlocking stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot more
More
things
to it.
going on.
Did you get to
we
those
like.
cards that we were talking about before that
Yes,
may be
so,
overpowered?
Yes, we've unlocked a couple of them, and I can see how it can be overpowered, but it's not like The things I can also use, Devin can also buy those same things and use them.
Okay.
But I can see how it could get frustrating, but you just play differently. You
Yeah,
just,
sure.
You just adjust.
Okay.
So we've been doing that, which has been really fun. Keep going to that. But we also played, I got a game off my shelf of shame.
You did.
Ooh, yeah.
This is a game I picked up at, I think it was either a Black Friday or one of the Christmas sales at our friendly local game store.
Yes.
Called Gugong.
Gugong.
Not to be confused with Gugu Shine.
Not Gugu Shine. So Gugong, do you know the designer of Gugong, Ryan?
Yeah, Andreas Stedding.
Yeah,
that's
that's one of your
my
boys.
boy. You know why?
Wow.
Natalangus, Tangalangus, because he is also the designer of one of my favorite games ever, Hansa Teutonica.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is published by TMG, and I realized
Dynamite.
as I reorganized some of my cubes that I told you about for my shelves that I have a lot of TMG games.
Oh, yeah?
Like, I think in the realm of like 7.
Like what
Or
else?
8.
Really?
TMG.
Yeah.
For some people who don't know.
So TMG, I have Homesteaders, Yokohama, Gates of Loyang,
Okay.
Gugong, Orleans, Chrono Corsairs, and I think I'm missing one, but
Cool.
yeah, I have like a big chunk of TMG games, so I have a problem.
Wow.
They just make such good
They have really
stuff.
good games.
Anyway,
Yeah,
Yep.
Those are good.
so
Yep.
Gugong, which you guys have played, so chime in. You guys played it a while ago, I remember.
Yeah.
And it has a special place in Ryan's heart.
It's a great game because this was the game I hid Natalie's engagement ring in
Yep.
for all these
you brought
all
it
time.
to Grand Rapids to
I didn't bring Gugong to Grand Rapids.
propose.
No.
Oh, no, you hid it in the game shelf. That's right. What?
Okay, in Gugong.
All right, here we go.
All right. Players take the role of Chinese families trying to gain influence and power by offering and exchanging gifts. So, if you remember, and this is me trying to explain it to Natalie so she remembers
Yeah,
the game.
I pulled a picture.
So, good.
So I could...
So the Gugong's board is broken up into 7 areas, if you remember that.
Yep.
And the 7 areas are the 7 major actions that you can take on your turn. So the game takes place over 4 rounds, so it actually moves fairly quickly. Doesn't take a ton of time. Where on your turn, you are taking one of those 7 actions by exchanging cards with one of the action spaces. So each of the 7 action spaces has a card on it. The card has a number from 1 to 9, and you have a hand of 4 or 5 that you start with. And you can add cards as you play and take different actions, but you take a card from your hand and you exchange it with the card on the board of the action that you want to do.
Like to exchange it for the keep it?
I like to exchange it for the keep it. And it's funny because all these things say in the rule books always talks about exchanging gift cards. And in my head, I'm like, all right, so Amazon gift card for something. But when I'm saying gift cards,
the theme was they couldn't. They're basically trying to bribe.
Yes.
The officials or whatever.
Yeah, you're
the
like
government
gaining this.
official.
Yeah,
and you can't actually give them money for stuff, so you're exchanging gifts for services.
Okay,
Yeah.
And what's cool is if you want to be able to take the action on the space, the people on the space want a nice gift. So the card you exchange it for has to be higher than the card that was on the board previously.
Okay.
So if there's a 4 on the board, I have to use a 5, 6, 7, 8, or
Okay.
9 on the board to essentially take that action
That's
without
ringing
any
a bell.
penalty. I can switch and put a lower number, but there's a couple things you have to take a little penalty in order to then do the actions. And what's very cool is after you switch the cards, the card you just took from the board goes into your own discard pile, and those are the cards you're going to use next round.
time.
So there is a lot of thinking about, okay, I can take this 1 or 2, but there's not going to be a lot of spaces that I can use that next round without some sort of penalty. So
Yeah.
there are, and what's also cool about the cards is the lower number cards don't get to do as much because you might be restricted in where you can play them depending on what's on the board. But on the cards have a special action on the lower ones. So like I think 1 through 4, or maybe 1 through 5 have like a special action. Mm-hmm. So when you play the card, not only do you get to take the board action, but you get to take the card action as well, which is very cool.
Sure.
The different actions on the board are like traveling. So as you travel around, you can gain like just different bonuses. Think of just moving around and picking up tokens as you travel. There's gaining influence. There's building the Great Wall. There's shipping. The shipping action is really cool because the shipping will allow you to get more. You can get more cards, which is cool. You can get this thing called a double worker, which is like essential to winning I feel like you have to get that double worker, which is cool. And there's getting Jade, there's obtaining decrees, which kind of gives you some cool rule-breaking powers throughout the game. And then there's moving up this palace track. And I don't know if you guys remember this. You have to get to the top of the palace track in order to be eligible to win.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So if you have the most points, but you don't get up the palace track,
You lose.
You can't even win.
In our play, I
the
remember it wasn't that hard.
It was not that hard.
You have to definitely pay attention to it.
Yes, you can't ignore it.
But there's a million ways to do it.
Yeah, one of the actions is palace, but there's a lot of other ways to move your little person up.
Middle?
Yep, in the middle.
Yes.
Right.
And another little dynamic to the game is there's this mechanism of managing what they call servants in the game, which are kind of like your little workers. So each space has sort of like a free action, and then they have something that costs a worker, which is better. So you're spending these servants in order to take better actions on different spaces. And if you run out of servants, you really can't do anything. So there's this cool mechanic of trying to not only play the right card in the right spot to take the action, but to also manage your servants to take better ones. That's why that double one can be really effective and cool. And then, you play 4 rounds. You can, you pick up your discards and you start the next round. And at the end of the game, person with the most points, as usual, is the wiener.
The wiener.
The wiener.
Yep, and they can also win if they want.
Well, what did Devin think?
So Devin liked it.
Yeah?
It went. In my column, it went in the Devin likes category.
Nice.
And she said there was just enough going on that she felt comfortable playing, because this is again one where there's just a lot of little things. You have to know each of the 7 things that's going on the board and how they work together. It's not just like Terraforming Mars where there's cards and the cards tell you what to do. You have to know the spaces on the board and how they interact. So she's like, there's just enough going on that I liked it. So she would totally play it again, and so would I. I really liked the card system. I thought the card system is very cool.
That's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know another game that uses that. I'm sure they're out there, but I like planning out. All right, I want this 7. Do I spend my 8 or 9 right now to get that 7 for next round? Or I really want to take this action, but man, there's only a 2 there. Now I got to use the 2 next round. I can only use it on a space that maybe has a 1, or take a penalty in order to use it.
Yeah.
So I really liked that. I liked that the lower cards had like bonus actions. I liked all the stuff you can add throughout the game, so it wasn't just the same. So when you do the shipping action, you can take points, you can take an extra card, which then gets you more actions every round. I really liked that part. It was very fun.
Did you like how there's basically a bunch of different little mini games, kind of like a game you love, Trajan?
Yes.
I was wondering if that was going to be an appeal to you.
Yeah,
because there's a bunch of different spots you can go, and they all have their own different mechanism. Like the one where you're building the wall, the shipping one, the one where you're just running around that track, the one where you're getting the jade, the one where you're just getting those tiles, which are awesome. I thought you might really enjoy that.
Yeah, I liked, especially with like the building the wall, you're spending some of those servants to sit on the wall, and they might sit there for a round or 2, and those servants are important, so you have to balance that.
Another reason why the double one is cool.
Yeah, the double one's great, and it only counts as 1 when you want to take it back, but it counts as 2 when you put it on the board. The shipping was, I liked all the little mini games and how they work together with the card action, and that's something why I like Trajan so much, is I'm going to use Ryan's word, I love grokking the Mancala rondel, the Roncala on the Trajan board to then do the actions that I want to do on the main board.
For sure.
And to a slightly lesser extent, I liked managing the cards in order to do the actions on the board. Mm-hmm. I like the Roncala better in Trajan in order to do that.
Yeah,
but
of course.
Just because it was a little bit challenging.
Yeah.
But I did like the challenge of now figuring out how to use your servants properly. So that was like an extra piece of like depth that I really enjoyed. I'm hoping, so on the other side, I'm hoping that the game can stay fresh, because I'm thinking that I start with the same cards all the time. Similar cards come out on the board. Is there a way that I could like figure this game out where, all right, I know that I can get up the palace track by doing this, so then I don't need to go to the palace track. Is there I would have been okay with maybe another mini game or more cards that would have done something, or I would have been okay with one more piece of depth. If that makes sense.
In the Kickstarter, there's it's an expansion, which is why
that's what I'm excited for.
The Panjun expansion, I think, is what it's called. So yeah, there's a lot more modules and stuff in there. Let me ask you this: the one thing I remember disliking about Gugong, and I loved the game, first of all, was the dice mechanism, which can we noticed it could maybe inadvertently screw somebody over if you roll the dice and you roll, a 2 and a 2 and a 6, and I have all those cards. I get those cards, and then Natalie's like, "Well, I don't get any of the bonuses now, and I can't even do anything about it." You remember that?
So yeah, the dice get rolled. They do get rolled at the beginning of the round. So you do see what numbers. So how the
But like if you have those cards in your hand when those numbers are rolled, you got to play those cards, getting them out of your hand, right? So that can be a bummer.
So yeah, what you get is you get a bonus for having so you roll a dice. The dice have 1 through 9 on it, and then if you have those cards in your hand at the end of the round, you get an extra servant back.
Yeah, and
at
like
the end of the
in the
round,
night
which is really important. Yeah, which is really important.
Nightman.
And so you get extra servants back, which is really important. So there were moments where I planned for that. I'm like, all right, I'm running low on servants. Let me take this 5. I might not need this action as much, but I know I'm going to need that double servant or that servant next round. But yeah, I can see how it can definitely favor.
I just remember it happened a bunch where Natalie was kind of like, well, she's like, I'm going to play this card and you're just going to take it, and now it's going to help you. She's like, but what am I supposed to do?
I just happened to have the good cards in my hand, and I had to play them.
You had to play them.
You had 2 4s and a 3 in this round, and 4 and 3 came up. Yeah,
all of that.
It wasn't every time, but it happened enough that she was just. I remember you were just kind of like, well, why is it like that? Like that sucks.
Yeah.
So I can't do anything about it. It's not, I could play suboptimally and not get rid of these cards, but
Yeah, I can see that being frustrating. I don't know if it. I guess I would have to. It happened to Devin, I think, once where she had like all the cards that she would need at the end of the round.
To be rolled,
but I'm curious if it would, if that was the only way for me to get servants, which it's not. Would that bother me more?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, like are the 2 servants that I'm getting for having 2 matching cards? Did that change the game completely? Maybe
it just seemed it seemed like for me, I was just like, well, I'm getting this sweet bonus, and I didn't really have to work for it.
Yeah.
And she's not getting the bonus only for out of randomness.
Yeah.
And I don't know that it made or break. Like, it didn't ruin the game for either of us because we both loved it. And I don't think that was why. I don't even remember who won. If I won, I don't think that's the reason I won necessarily.
I
remember you were like, well, that kind of blows. I feel like all game that's kind of worked out this way.
Yeah.
But I love that game. I think it's a very cool game.
I also feel like it doesn't get a lot of love. I don't know if it flew under the radar a little bit.
When it first came out, I felt like it was everywhere. And then, I agree with you. Lately, it's just kind of gone.
I guess they're kickstarting a super deluxe version, so
awesome.
maybe they're.
Yeah, I can't wait for
maybe
that.
it does get some love.
Yeah,
that's
right.
true.
I mean, it was definitely lauded when it came out. Is that the right word? Lauded?
Sure.
Or is that the bad word? Who knows? People loved it when it came out.
Moot.
Wow. Yeah, nice. Good memory there. So that's Gugong.
Yeah, Gugong.
Very cool. Again, not to be confused with Gugu Shine.
What is Gugu Shine?
Gugu Shine is a creation of one mad board gamer of ours.
When I was in high school.
In high school. Yep.
When Ryan and I went to high school.
A YouTube video. He made a YouTube video.
Well, it was for like class.
Oh.
And I created a product called Gugu Shine that did like everything. It was basically like Mountain Dew in a Windex bottle, but it did.
And he edited it all funny, so like he'd spray it on like a basketball, and all of a sudden, like the basketball's in the hoop.
It could do everything.
Added basketball.
Yeah, yeah. It was funny. I'll show you one time.
Yeah, it's really funny. We'll watch it. It's great. So, while I have been playing chess with Lewis, like I talked about, him and I, there's a feature on the chess.com website where there's a chat feature, so you can chat while you're playing, and so him and I have been becoming a lot closer friends, honestly, just through playing games and stuff and through the podcast and everything, to his absolute horror and dismay. Yes, I forced myself on him like a cuddly little mosquito, or I burrowed deep into his life like a well-meaning tick. And it's been great. We can chat while we play chess, and during those chats, he told me about a game that he's been playing a lot lately called Mandala. Now, I looked into Mandala a lot. And funnily enough, the moment that he texted me or he messaged me about Mandala, it was in my Amazon cart. It was the only thing in my Amazon cart. So I, of course, and he gave it like a glowing endorsement and stuff like that. That was, of course, excuse number 6,784 that I need to buy a board game. It felt serendipitous,
Yeah.
On a whim. So a couple Prime days later, we get Mandala to the table. This is a game all about those awesome designs that you see, like drawn in the sand. Mm-hmm. It looks like someone took a giant spirograph, to the sand and just made this like really cool pattern. Mm-hmm. And anyway, that's the theme of the game. So here's how it works. It's a 2-player only game where you are working together, not cooperatively, to build 2 different mandalas. All right. And once a mandala is complete, it scores and then washes away by the tide, and then you start over again, which is really the theme of the normal, like a real-life mandala. Like, you make it in the sand, the water comes and washes it away, and then you start again. It's like, I don't know, symbolizing life and death or something. I don't know. So, in this game, you play back and forth until either one player has placed their 6th colored card in front of them, or until the deck runs out. At the end of the game, whoever has the most points wins. So each player has a hand of cards that comes in one of 6 colors. On your turn, you either play a card face up to your side of the mandala, which exists on this cloth playmat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It needs to be ironed.
And we have to iron this damn thing.
It was like really like the creases in it were very creased.
Prominent.
Yeah,
You
like
had some pleats.
they were very.
Yes.
It was a pleated.
Yeah.
They were,
Pleated game.
They were. It was very crispy, like
Yeah.
really. Okay, so the mandala is complete when at least one card of each of those 6 colors exists within it. Okay, the rule is that a color is only allowed to exist in one of the 3 spots of the mandala, either in the center where both players can play because it's a 2-player only game, or on your side or on your opponent's side. So basically, on Natalie's turn, say she plays a yellow card to her side of the mandala. I am now not allowed to play a yellow card onto my side or into the middle. And she's not allowed to play a card into the middle. So yellow exists on her side of the mandala. That's the only place where yellow cards can exist now. Does that make sense? So we go back and forth where each player is either playing cards to their side of the mandala or into the center. And then once the 6th card is placed on one of those mandalas, then the other player takes all cards of a color, and so on and so forth until all cards in the center are gone. So all cards on either side of the mandala get discarded. If this is the first time you've taken a certain color, so like the mandala completes because there's 6 cards of a color, and then we go back and forth taking cards out of the center to collect. So if Natalie takes red out of the center, she takes 3 red cards because there was 3 red cards in the center, and that's the first time she's taken red. She puts 1 red card face up in front of her. And there's 6 spots in front of you, numbered 1 through 6 from left to right. She has to place on the left, so she puts the red card on the left, where the number 1 is. Mm-hmm. All the rest of those red cards, and any red card she takes for the rest of the game, go face down into a stack onto the right. At the end of the game, once the game ends, you take all the cards that were in that face down stack, and you flip them face up, and they go underneath the cards that you have played in that row from 1 to 6. I know this is confusing sounding.
Yeah.
But you then multiply the number of cards you have by the number where the colored cards sit in that row. So, for instance, Natalie took the red cards first. She put a red down in the 1 spot. And let's say she had 10 other red cards at the end of the game. She reveals those red cards at the end. She has 10 red cards. Red is in the first position. So 10 cards times 1 is 10 points. Once she takes yellow, which is the first time she's taken yellow, she puts a yellow face up in the 2 spot. And if she has 3 2s at the end of the game, she earns 6 points. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the game plays until one of you covers up your 6th spot, because that's having one of each different color card.
Well, there's 7 colors, so I think there's 1 color you don't have.
Oh, is there 7 colors?
I think so.
I don't think so.
Yellow, red, orange,
Black.
purple, black.
She's naming colors. She's got 5 colors.
She does.
She's
Green.
Green. Ooh, that's 6.
I think that's it,
I
right?
thought there was like 1 color I didn't have and 1 color you didn't have. Like I didn't think I thought maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong. It's okay, though.
I am?
Yeah,
Oh.
for sure. Yeah, you're wrong, for sure. No, it's
I just
okay.
looked at some pictures. It has like, it looks cool.
It looks awesome.
It is beautiful looking.
It's
game.
beautiful. I'm pulling up some pictures right now to show you guys. You can see this cloth playmat here in the center. It looks beautiful, but I will say this cloth playmat is more of a hindrance than anything because what Natalie mentioned
pleats.
earlier, it's got these, it's pleated.
Yeah.
And so you really got to iron this damn thing, or else you can even kind of see in this picture I'm showing you that the cards are just kind of like up on this.
Yeah, I just
You know
pulled
what I
up
mean?
a picture of it, and it seems very creased.
It's creased.
Well, it's like really
It's extremely
thin.
creased,
It's like, yeah, it's not like a thick cloth.
but it's beautiful.
Yeah, I wonder if you ironed it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if you tried to
Well,
do it.
because
and
I
then-
bet it's that creased because, it's brand new in the box and they probably like...
Oh, yeah,
Natalie
pre-
thinks
they
they ironed it before.
pressed it when they-
Yeah, they
right.
pressed it.
To
and
get
so
it
when
into
you,
the
To get into the
If
box
you like
part,
iron
yeah.
it straight and then just kind of fold it up, I don't think it's going to be as creased.
Could hang it on
going
the wall.
forward.
It's beautiful. It is beautiful. The game itself is very cool. It kind of reminds me of a similar, like the weight of like a patchwork. It's got
Okay.
that kind of
Yeah.
feel to it, So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very relaxing while also being a bit cutthroat, but not cutthroat in like a mean way, more in like a, oh man, I really needed to not let you get all those black cards while making sure I get the yellow cards. Like it's kind of like that where you're like, okay, so how do I do that? But it doesn't ever feel like you're getting screwed. You know, it just feels like, oh damn, she made a good play there. There was a lot of times in the games that we played where Natalie like played a card and I'm like, oh, she's going for that. How do I stop her? You know, and that was where the tension existed, which I thought was really cool. It's a lot more challenging than it first appears, and I like that, which is, again, what I would say about Patchwork. You play Patchwork, and you're kind of like, okay, this is simple.
Cool, I got -2.
After a while, you're like, what? So Mandala feels that way. I thought the theme was really cool. I really enjoyed all the mechanisms and how they work together. It seemed very intuitive and streamlined. One of those, like, why didn't I think of that? Designs, you know, where you're just playing 6 cards to a thing and then it scores. Like, that's so simple. But there's very tricky decisions in this one. The artwork was nice. The game was quick. It's a pretty nice 2-player only game that really just seems to fit right in there with Patchwork, Akrotiri, those kind of games. So I enjoyed it. What I didn't like, the playmat we talked about. That's basically the biggest thing I didn't like about it, I would say. It's also, the cards are square. As you can see from the video, they're square and rigid. And there's a bunch of them. And you got to shuffle them.
Oh, right.
And it's impossible. They just come out in clumps. And so when you first get the game, all the cards are arranged in color order, and you got to shuffle them together. And it's like, how the hell do you do that? Right. They're not going to break in because they're square. And then I put that on Instagram, like, how do you shuffle these damn things? And then somebody messaged me, and they were like, I put them in sleeves because shuffling in sleeves is so much easier. But he was like, but then there was a different problem because they're square, so you can never quite tell where the top is. Because they're all the same thing, you know, and when they're, you know, on the back. Right. So he's like, it's just kind of a bummer. That's a very minor quibble. I just found annoying, but that's very minor quibble.
I remember you were like telling me about your shuffling issue, and I had my hand, and I was like, I can tell. Yeah. Because I had like 2 colors in my hand.
Right. And it's, So the game's random. I mean, the cards can mess you over. I didn't find that to be a huge issue, though. The game's quick enough that randomness isn't going to make or break your enjoyment of the game. It could affect one particular play. You could get hosed by the randomness of the cards. You know, you really, really need an orange card to get, and they're not coming up.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's not anything worse than any other game. I worry a little bit, though, about replayability, mostly because of what Natalie thought of it, which you'll hear in a second, but also because while I think it's a cool game, it doesn't really do anything eye-popping, you know? It's a really solid little 2-player game, but it's not, like, mind-blowing. You know what I mean? It's in a sea of games that are only 2 players. I think this stands up with them, but doesn't stand above them. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So it's good. It's really good. I think it's better than Good Night Great personally. I actually really enjoyed it. But I just wonder, are we going to reach for this over some of our tried and true 2-player games? Does it do enough to earn that spot on, you know, in our rotation? So what did you think?
I want to know what you were thinking I'm going to say.
Well, I just don't think you liked it.
Oh, yeah.
And so
I mean,
we're not going to replay it if you don't like it.
Yeah. Oh, right. I mean, I did not like it. I just kind of thought my first play was good, not great. I remember, I do want to give it another chance. Like, I want to try it again.
Take a chance.
Maybe the first play was one of those plays where, you know, I didn't like it because I felt a lot of the time like, what am I supposed to do? Like, what am I supposed to play? And I felt like almost like I didn't get it.
If you're looking at the video right now, you'll see there's 6 colors.
Shut up.
How many times did you play?
Once.
Okay.
Wait,
Yeah.
I thought we played twice.
No.
Oh,
Ryan
we played
logged
once?
twice.
You did?
I don't know. I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
I thought we played once or twice.
We did play
Or 3
once.
times a lady.
No, we only played one time.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like almost like the first time I just didn't quite get it, and that was kind of like frustrating for me, and it kind of affected my enjoyment of it, but that's why I want to play it again once now that I know the game. And I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't have that okay, I get it now. Let's play it again. You were just kind of like, eh. Like, I was like, what'd you think? We were done. I was like, what'd you think? And she was like, meh.
Yeah, it's kind of, and then, I don't know. I just didn't feel excited about it.
Yeah. I understand that.
And at the end,
here's a great shot, by the way, of the mat and how it's like.
That was the one. The one I looked at.
Ooh.
At the end, if you recall, like our final mandala that ended the game.
Yep.
We were just playing. There was a color that I don't remember the colors. Like I was playing green, which was 1 for him, but like 4 or 5 for me. So I just kept playing a bunch of greens out, and then it was a similar thing to you. You had like let's say it was black, and like black was low for me but higher for you, and so I didn't really care about taking. You knew I wasn't really going to take the black. I knew you weren't going to take the green because it would hurt you and not give you as much points. So we're both just playing our colors, and which basically sort of evened out at the end, you know. And then we ended the game and took our respective colors and then added up the points, and I felt like you basically won because you happened to get a bunch of like colors in like better. Your 6. What?
I said no. I played better. Don't take my win away.
Yeah, if it came out in the right order.
Yeah, you played a bunch of colors. You got a bunch of colors in like your 6, and I got like none in my 6, or you know what I mean? Like a
little bit of randomness.
Yeah, the randomness, and then I don't know. It was just for me.
So that's going to hurt replayability, I think, a little bit for us.
Yeah. But I did say I want to try it again. Like maybe it'll be better.
There is this like category of like these 2-player 20-minute games that, for me, Patchwork started for me. Like that's the 20-minute 2-player game that I hold all these games up to. So if it's not better than Patchwork, I don't know if I'm going to grab it over Patchwork.
Right.
So there's like, I know people love like Lost Cities. People love, like, I love Jaipur, so that's one I'll grab all the time.
Yep. We have Codenames
Remember
Duet.
Balloon Cup? Codenames Duet.
Yeah, Balloon
like
Cup's
these
good.
games that are like these 20-minute, I'm not talking, like the duel games. The duel games are a little longer. Like Seven Wonders Duel, those are a little longer. I put this in a slightly different category.
Right.
These are 20-minute light games.
Yeah.
And right now, there's a lot of them that are really, really good. But in order for me to want to grab it or play it, it needs to be better than all of those. It needs to be, you need to be better than Patchwork.
Right.
And that's like, if you're out there developing some 2-player game, it needs to be more fun and better than Patchwork.
According to us.
According to yeah.
If you want us to buy it.
I think everybody has that 2-player game. Oh, we have 20 minutes. Let's play a 2-player game. And they're going to grab, what's that game? Is it Jaipur? Is it Saikatsu?
Yeah.
Is it?
You got to do something that's going to make you stand above.
It's really funny that we always say that, but like, when have we ever been like, oh, we have like a half hour, let's play a quick game?
Yeah.
Well, no, I think we do that sometimes with Codenames Duet, where we're sitting down here and we're like, let's play something. I don't want to get into something big. I don't want to have to learn something. Yeah. What do we know that we can knock out quickly? I think that happens more than you think.
I feel like our Patchwork is Codenames Duet.
It's Codenames Duet. Yeah, well, that's what he's talking about.
Lewis's is Mandala.
Yeah,
so like,
Lewis likes Mandala. Yeah, him and his girlfriend have been playing it like crazy.
Like, I don't think it's a bad game, and I wouldn't say I didn't like it. I just also wasn't excited about it. I wasn't like, oh yeah, this is awesome.
So that's gonna hurt replayability.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt replayability. I'll try it out.
I want to try it again.
I'll try it out.
Yeah,
it's cool. All right, Jeff, what you got next, man?
I got a game called Plunderbund.
Plunderbund.
You ever heard of Plunderbund?
I have, from you. No, I think I have heard of it.
It was on Kickstarter, so it was a successful Kickstarter.
Okay.
And it was published by Hachu Games.
Hachu. Like
what?
a sneeze?
That's for real?
Okay. HUTCHU. And their icon is like, it looks like a sneeze.
Yeah.
So Hachu Games, which is kind of funny. And they were nice enough to send me a copy to play and to talk about with you guys. So we're gonna get
I see it. Hachu.
Yeah, Hachu.
It's got cool artwork. I see some orcs on here.
Yes. So the cover is very cool. It's set in the Prohibition era, but it has orcs and elves and these different creatures in it, which is pretty cool. And you're this guild. You and your guild are trying to dominate the illegal goods market during Prohibition on this gigantic board. The board is huge, which is really cool. And so it's a mixture of area control and deck building, where the players are trying to control the different markets in the 4 areas of the board. So there's 4 big areas of the board, and each area has, I don't know, 6 markets or something in each area. Mm-hmm. And so it takes place over 12 rounds. It's broken down into 4 seasons. So you have 3 rounds per season. And in each round, it begins by, you put out these demand tokens on random merchants. So you have this bag of tokens, and you pull them out, and they're one of 4 colors, and they have a number on them. So you place the token on the number. So I'll get to why that makes sense later. And then you draw cards into your hand equal to your hand limit. It starts with 5. It can go up with different actions. So you start with 5, and then you go back and forth, and you execute all of your actions at once. So I would execute all of mine. Devin executed all of hers. And the different actions, they're pretty simple to start with. There's different cards that add to it that are like more advanced options, but they're really, the main option is to place an agent or to move an agent. So you have this pool of very awesome looking agents. So I don't know if you can find a picture of the handcrafted little plastic agents and racketeers. So if you're looking at the video, yes, those are it. And if you're gonna buy Plunderbund,
I didn't realize these came with the game. When I first pulled this picture up, I was like, "Oh, someone made these."
So it's an addition. This was an add-on for the Kickstarter, and so Hachu was nice enough to send me this. It's so cool. So those feel just so much better than like little wooden cubes or pawns.
I might have totally missed the explanation of Hachu. Did you explain it?
No. But I'm assuming it's the two names.
Yeah, a game by Woody Hutsell and Adam Chun.
Yeah.
So Hut Chu. Okay, that's funny.
So the cards. So the first thing you can do is really one of the basic actions is to add an agent or add a racketeer to the board, and you just put it on whatever merchant spot you want. So whatever number. And moving's pretty easy. You can add it to anywhere. You can move it anywhere. So that action's pretty simple. The other actions that you really start with are to move up on these 4 tracks that are surrounding the board. So the 4 tracks are quality, price, appeal, and ingenuity. And those are all like representative of your product. So your price of your product will go up. The quality of your product will go up. The appeal of product will go up. Ingenuity will go up. And so you advance on those. And at the end of every season, players have the opportunity to sell goods that they've collected. And you collect goods through moving up on the different tracks every round. So you add goods to your pile. And then at the end of the season, so you do that 3 times. And then at the end of the season, you have the opportunity to sell the goods that you sell the goods to the tokens that are on the spots that you're on. So if there are 3 14 tokens and I'm the only one at the 14 spot with my agent, I can sell all of my goods to those people for points.
Okay.
And what's interesting is if there's a competition, so if there is 2 people or if there's 3 people or 4, this game plays up to 5. There's 5 people at the same spot. You're competing over those tokens. And the tokens, the color of the tokens match the tracks on the outside of the board. So the purple token, if I'm highest on the purple track, I get first bid at that point token. So I can then sell it to the purple. And then if you're highest on the yellow, you can then sell the yellow ones. So you're kind of planning like, okay, I knew that for the majority of the game, I was not winning I don't know if it was purple or green track. I wasn't winning one of those. So I was like, well, Devin can take all those green ones there. I don't know if I can compete there.
Right.
But what's cool is there's a little racketeer that you can put out there, and the racketeer just does illegal things. And the racketeer at each of these spots can steal a token, and they can get points for stealing a token. So I could go to that green spot where I know I'm not going to win it and take that token before Devin and sell it. So there's a little bit of little bit of take that. It's not a very take that sort of game. So there's a little bit of I'm not going to call it an economic game, but there's a little bit of economy and supply and demand and moving it around. And so at the end of the season, you can sell goods. And then moving into the next season, players add 2 cards to their deck. So there's a market of cards. The first player gets to take 1, the second player takes 2, and then the first player takes another one. And you add that directly to the top of your deck. So you'll see those immediately in the next round. And just like any normal deck builder, if you run out of cards, you shuffle them all up and whatever. Sure. And there's another little mechanism that I thought was kind of cool is each of these cards have an action on them, and the action, many of them costs what they call a favor. And those are cards that clog up your deck. So if I want to move up 2 on the price track, I can move up 2, but I have to take 2 favor cards and add them to my discard pile, and then they come up, and all they do is just clog your deck up. Mm-hmm. When they come out normally for your hand, you discard them immediately, but that turn, instead of drawing 5 cards, you draw 5, and 3 of them might be favors, so you only have 2 cards to then work with. Does that make sense? So that's a way to kind of randomizes the game a little more. It also slows you down. Like you want to take these cool actions, but you have to take more of these favor things. It might hurt your next turn.
Right.
And then if they're still in your deck by the end of the game, you lose 1 point for every one that's in there. So that's important to try to get rid of them, but also you want to take those actions.
Okay.
So at the end of the 4 seasons, you do that 4 times. So you sell goods 4 times. And then there is the end game scoring is one last sale, and you get majority points for each of the sections. So there's just like 5 points for controlling each section if you have the most agents or racketeers in a section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what did you think?
So good and bad. So if you are going to buy Plunderbund, you need to buy these little plastic.
Yeah,
they are so cool. I showed Devin the other thing. She's like, I wouldn't even want to play with that. I'm like, so 'cause they're just so cool.
I wonder if she didn't see the newer ones, if she would feel that way.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool. And they're all like some of them are, some of them are white, some of them are black, some of them are green, like the orcs. So it's kind of cool. They all are different. And I really liked the tracks around the board. I thought managing those tracks
that seems like a cool mechanism.
That was the meat of the game. Because all right, if I can get up on the green, I can win these tokens in the next sale, or I need to be able to move my guy to a spot where there's more green, But do I have the cards to move them up? I really liked the managing of the tracks. So I thought that was really cool.
Sweet.
The demand tokens were cool, so I like that whole kind of system of that. I think that with more players, you're going to see more competition. So I knew I could just look at the board easily and be like, all right, Devin may or may not be able to go here. I'm going to be able to get these tokens. But I think maybe with 5 players, if I make my move and then, Ryan, if you're last, if you're the 5th person, you might move people around and take stuff from me that I thought I had when I was first player. So that competition, I think, would drive more with more people. So I think that would work better at like 4 or 5 people. Things that I was a little disappointed in is I knew that the game was a deck builder. So I was excited about it being a deck builder.
Yep.
And I wish that it could be on me also, is that it's not as big of a deck builder as I want it to be. It's the majority of your it's all of your actions. So you are taking the actions, but I'm not building the deck as much as I wanted to. Because you can you're only adding 6 cards to your deck throughout the game at the end of every season.
Oh wow.
And the end of the end of the game is the last season. So you're doing it at the end of the fall, winter, spring. And
so it's not
So most of the cards are the same cards, most of it.
Yeah, the cards you add to the deck are cool.
Yeah.
But most of the cards between you and I or whoever you're playing with are exactly the same minus 6 of them.
Yeah.
So I almost want to be able to add cards all the time. I want to be able to get that engine going.
Or it'd be cool if your starting cards were different in some way.
Yeah, and I think that's easy. It's an easy fix, or maybe and what is very cool about this company is when they sent me the game, they said, hey, I want you to go on Board Game Geek. We've amended some of the rules based on some feedback we got. And I'm like, that is really cool from a publisher to do that. I know for how much people don't like Jamie Stegmaier, who I like a lot, he does a lot of that stuff too, which I think is very cool. So they went on and made like a rules amendment and said, hey, here are the cards you need to start with. Here's something about the tiles, and just kind of change a little bit about the game, which I thought was really nice. But yeah, I wanted a little more deck building action to it.
Yeah.
And it could have been my fault not researching as much, but when I looked at it, I was like, area control, pretty cool. Supply and demand stuff, cool. Deck builder, I'm like, in. So I maybe hyped the deck building up a little too much.
Like the reason you
but
got
it's just that it's a small amount of deck building to add some of the cards to the deck. But I wanted to be able to buy them like every round.
Yeah, you were kind of hoping that would be more of a forefront mechanism.
Yeah.
And it was like kind of in the background.
Yeah, so it was definitely more of like an economic sort of supply and demand moving around
Cool
game. So yeah.
Awesome.
But if you're going to buy, you got to buy those pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're so cool.
And you can get those retail?
Yes. Yeah, you can buy them. There's some
an
upgrade
add-on,
pack.
you
It's
said?
called like so you can buy the game and then you can you can buy it from their website, Hachu Games.
Hachu Games.
Or you can find them on Instagram. They are Hachu Games.
Hachu
on
Games.
Instagram.
This is their first game? Or they have other games?
Yeah, I think this is their first game.
Their
At least their first
launch into the board game world. Yeah, their first big game.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
That's pretty sweet. I don't know if we should do the next game. We're not running long, but we're at about an hour here. I don't know if you want to keep going. We could just kind of move on if you want.
It's up to you.
You're the time, man.
You want to talk about it? You do want to talk about it.
I don't care. We can we can talk about it quickly.
We can talk about. We'll do it quickly. Do it quickly. All
I'll
right.
have to explain.
Quickly, we played the Voyages of Marco Polo. Ooh. And this is a dice placement game where you're rolling your dice each round, placing one or more of them on your turn to various places around the board to give you resources, move along the map, collect, satisfy contracts, or get money, basically. The game gives you points in one of 2 main ways, either traveling along the... Alexa, stop! Alexa! Shut your face!
Oh
what was she talking about?
I don't know.
She's something about Starbucks.
Did I even say her name?
No.
I'm looking in here.
Not.
There's no Alexa. I don't want to say it again.
I know.
You want to start over?
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of funny. Maybe we keep that in. Anyway, the game gives you points in one of 2 main ways, either traveling along the main map to uncover more worker placement spots, which a lot of them transfer into points, or by fulfilling lots of contracts. This strategy actually seems very powerful and hard to counter. But anyway, after 5 rounds, the game's over, and whoever has the most points wins. It's very quick. Medium weight game designed by the famed duo Simone Luciani and Danielle Tascini. Remember that Matrix I pulled up last episode or 2 episodes ago? Yeah. With all the stats on how many games they've designed, blah, blah, blah. Well, this is another one. The thing that separates this game from the rest of the pack are these variable player powers that you get at the beginning of the game.
Boy.
If you know me, you know I love a nice variable player power. But in this game, calling the player powers nice would be doing them the most severe of injustices because they're not nice.
They're insane.
They're universe-altering, rule-breaking idols of mass destruction. And when you get one, you think there is no way in hell that this game can be balanced. And you might be right. I don't know. But it was crazy how powerful these damn things were. But they were all powerful. So I go through the rules and I'm like, okay, every turn you roll your dice and then you take your dice and then you got to play them. You know, depending on what pips you have is how good of an action you can do. Obviously, the higher the pips, like the better stuff you can do. And I'm like, okay, here's how it works. I'm like, okay, now, Natalie, your power. You don't roll your dice. Also, you get to just decide whatever you want them to be.
As I'm playing,
so they can all be
like,
six if you
I'm
want.
I'm going to play this and make it a 6.
And so we say that, and everyone's like, oh my God.
Frankie's like,
just goes,
that's
bullshit. And then we get to Frankie's power, and it's like, Frankie, you get you just get an extra die completely. And at the beginning of every single round, you get a brand new contract. You don't have to pay for it. And the contracts are like the main way to earn points.
And everyone's like,
whoa!
I know.
And then mine, which I felt like was the weakest, but I just probably didn't utilize it enough. So there's a mechanism where it's a worker placement game, but in most of the spots you can go where other players went, but you have to pay money to do it, and money is really like a toiger in this game.
Point.
So my power was I can go anywhere anyone already is, and I don't got to pay for it.
Okay,
which was good. It didn't seem to.
You don't
probably
see
didn't
that benefit because like you're not getting something. You're not just not giving it.
So then Kyle's, which is he won by a wide margin.
His thing was over here on the board, and we were all like way over there.
So if you're listening to the audio, he had like 50 more points than us.
Yep.
His thing was over here, ours was over there, is what that meant. So his power was there's a spot on the board where you place your workers to get resources, and there's basically one main spot to get resources. There's two spots, but one main spot.
Bazaar.
And you have to go there. You have to go to this bazaar because you get resources to complete contracts, and you get resources to move on the map. So it's doing everything for you. Kyle's power was anytime anybody went there, he got a resource for free of whatever they were getting.
Just one. So like,
That's
if
cool.
all three of us go there like 4 times.
And he goes
So it's not once per round. It's like
it's
every time.
Every time anyone
somebody
else goes
goes
there,
there.
he gets one of whatever they're getting.
Boom.
So I go here and get camels. He gets a camel.
He's
I go
just
here and get gold.
collecting
He gets a gold.
resources
Natalie
like
goes there and gets silk. He
crazy.
gets a silk. And now it's his turn, and he's like, I can complete a contract. And so that kept happening. He would just ancillarily get resources, and then on his turn, he's like, okay, I'll spend my action to complete this contract, because now I have all the resources
Well,
I need.
completing contracts a free action.
Yeah,
too.
so then he can
So
do...
he's just like completing contracts like crazy, and also you get points for having the most completed contracts, and you get points for completing each contract. So of course he freaking wins.
Well, it seemed
Kyle.
imbalanced. I'm not saying it was. I'm not going to say that. It was one play. We don't know what the hell we're doing. None of us do.
Yeah.
So I am not going to be one of those people that's like, well, the game's broken, because a lot of people are quick to jump to that. It definitely seemed like his was the easiest play.
Right. 'Cause
he even said at the end, he's like, I had a good time. He's like, but I felt like I didn't have to do anything. Everything just happened to me.
It was like getting
so
handed
it
to
was,
him.
yeah, he's like, so it was fun because I was killing it, but
Yeah, was winning fun or was the game fun?
Yeah, he's like, I found myself on my turn. I just had all the resources I needed to do whatever I wanted, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
So I just was do that, and he was run us up the board. So what I liked, I love dice placement games in general. I think we all do. We all really enjoy dice placement games. That part of it was fun. It's fun rolling dice. Well, not in Natalie's case, and placing them on the board to do things.
I was like, I kind of want to roll them.
to do things. Well, you could have. You're just allowed to place them.
I just rolled them and then change it to whatever I want.
The powers were fun though. It was really cool. Like when I was explaining them and everyone was like reacting like, oh my God, like Natalie was like, well, I don't have to roll my dice. I can just put them anywhere I want.
I can choose whatever action I want, whatever dice roll I want. I decide. Like, that's crazy.
It's cool.
Yeah.
They're all like that. Every power is crazy. And there's a bunch of powers we didn't play with. So I really like that. I like that it's quick. It sets up pretty quick and it plays very quickly. A 4-player game. I mean, we were through it in an hour and a half, I would say.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it might have been.
That.
It might have even been a
great time.
It might have been a little longer because it was everybody's first play, but certainly you can play this game.
Yeah, it's only
that
5
quickly.
rounds.
There's not really a ton. There's not a ton to do. You can really either move, or you can get resources, or you can complete a contract. That's really all you can do. I mean, you can get some money, but it's just there's not a ton.
Yeah, there's
and
not a
your
ton
turns can be
going
over
on.
quick because you can play one or more dice on your turn. What I didn't like the again. I love player powers. I love them. And this game does it pretty well. What I didn't like about Circadian's First Light was sort of present here, where you can get pigeonholed by those powers. So it wasn't as bad in this game. I should have utilized my player powers better. I kept going first, and that shouldn't have mattered for me, because going first now doesn't really benefit my power, because my power is I'm allowed to go where other players go.
Yeah.
And so I just found myself, I was just like, why am I not doing it? I'm going to spots first. And I'm like, well, that's free. I should wait, and then I can go on any spot. I should, so I didn't really use it that well. But it definitely seemed like the strategy Kyle was using, which was just completing contracts, it seemed like that's the way to go. Strategy.
Do you think it could have been like with... You think Frankie could have taken the contracts that he needed? You know what I mean?
So the contracts that she got came from a separate stack.
Okay, all right.
Yep. So no. So and the thing is, it's hard to know what he's going to go for, because he's getting like, so on my turn I could be like, okay, he's got a couple gold and a camel. He could get one of these 4 contracts. And so if I try to take one, I think he's going to get, and then Natalie takes silk resource. Now he gets a silk, and that helps him complete one I didn't see.
You're not playing your own game.
Yeah, and then I'm not playing my own game as much.
That.
So it just left a little bit of a kind of taste in my mouth. And at the end of the game, I kind of felt basically the way I felt the first time I played with Jeremy, which was just like, okay, that was good, not great. It was good. Like I when I was explaining the rules, I was pumped up. And then when we played, I was just kind of like, all right, it's okay. It's not bad. Yeah. It's fun, but I wasn't amped up about it, like I was hoping to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was just we were just playing, and I felt like we were having fun because we were hanging out.
Yeah.
More than the game was providing the fun.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it was a cool game. What'd you think?
I've had very similar thoughts to you. I know this is a game that you've been trying to get played for a while, and you had said, for some reason I didn't. Every time you'd bring it up, I was kind of like,
"I'm going to play Marco Polo." She's like, "No." I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "I don't know."
Yeah, and so then he's explaining the rules, and it's like dice placement, and you do all these things, and I was like, "Why did I not want to play this? It sounds
it's like
awesome.
right
it's like everything I like."
Maybe you thought he wanted to play like Marco Polo, where he yells Marco, and you like hide.
Yeah, it's like the pool game.
You like walk around.
No, I can see you. We're always a fish out of water.
So then, he explains the game, and I'm like, this seems awesome. And then he explained the player powers, and we're all like, oh, this is so cool. Like, I'm going to kill everybody with this. I can just do whatever I want, And so I felt like at the beginning, I was like having so much fun. And then my fun level just started like diminishing, which is extremely odd feeling. I can't even think of another game where I'm like, starts off like actually enjoying it. And then as it goes on, I'm like, yeah, it's not that fun anymore.
Here's why I think that happened. I can give you some insight.
Okay.
A lot of games, like I'll use Underwater Cities as an example. When I taught you Underwater Cities, I felt like you were just kind of like, oh, okay. And then you started playing it, and the game presented itself to you, and you were like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
This game is so fun. I didn't really think it was going to be this fun, but I'm loving doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
I think Marco Polo had the opposite effect. I think after the rules were read, you were like, this is going to be so great.
Yeah.
And then you play the game, and you're like, oh, it's not really as great as it seemed like it was going to be in my head.
I agree with you, but even a step further, I actually was having fun playing.
Yeah, but how much of that was the this is going to be awesome, and you're playing, you're like, yeah, Probably. It's awesome, yeah, and then you're like, well, is it though? Maybe not.
Yeah,
I don't know.
because I'm like having all this plans. I'm like, okay, well, I can just do whatever I want. So like my first move was I put a 6 on camels, and I just get 6 camels. Well, like no one else could just do that. Get all the max resources whenever they feel like it, and I can. So I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna be moving around way more than everyone else and complete these like cards that I have. And so I was excited about that, planning that out and starting to play it. But then as the game went on, I'm like probably the last whole round, I was like, what do I even do?
It's not working like I thought.
Yeah, and like Kyle's killing everybody. I'm like, I don't know.
Right, she goes and gets 6 camels. He gets a camel. Now it's my turn. I get 3 silk. He gets a silk.
And then we were laughing because the other part is all of the resources.
We're on the other side of the board from him.
Opposite side of the table of Kyle. So every time he gets one, which is every time anyone else gets one, he's like, "Can you hand me a silk?"
No, he was not. He was going silk. Give me a silk.
So he couldn't just grab it. We had to give him all of his free resources.
They're right there.
Grab them. I was like, you take them.
Put them just out of his reach.
Here you go.
Frankie just like throw it at him.
Yeah, she was throwing it at his face, and that made him laugh really hard.
Oh, is that what all these components on the ground?
Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, guys. It was really funny.
There was one point too. I think Kyle was like, he's like, oh yeah, Frankie's gonna be so mad. I'm gonna do this, and Frankie's just sitting there like, we're like, we don't think she actually cares that much.
But it was so fun. It was so funny.
Cares so much about beatdown. beating her.
And he says that normally she gets mad if he beats her.
They're very competitive.
It was really funny. So that's the Voyages of Marco Polo. We thought it was good, not great.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I liked the game. I would even play it again, honestly.
I would probably play it again.
I don't think it was bad.
I feel like there was, like you said, there wasn't a ton going on. It I don't know. It just wasn't that exciting, and it was just like good, not great. It's just a good way to put it.
Didn't grip us, which is unusual for both these designers and the mechanism.
Right. I was excited about the mechanism. I was like, oh, this is, like you said, right up my alley. And then we were playing it, and I was like, eh. And even with the player powers, like that probably got me the most excited. Like, oh man, how's this gonna go?
Well, they're sweet.
Yeah. And it still was just kind of like, it was pretty good.
It was aight.
Pretty good.
It was aight. It's one of those phrases that doesn't exist.
It's an old phrase,
yeah. That's what my dad still says all the time.
Well, he's old. Old people say stuff that happened in like the early 90s.
Yep.
Like,
it's aight.
Yeah, it's aight. Now, your dad says AF all the time.
Yeah. Well, he also, there's some things he thinks are
Enrique
cool.
Enrique's talent is AF.
AF. Yeah.
He also says in a text, when he texts me, instead of probably, he says probably.
Oh, yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah, that'll probably work. I'm like,
like it will.
What?
Like Tommy Pop. Come on, man.
I've never even
all right, well, let's get moving. Jeff, you want to talk about Animatrix right quick?
No, are we okay?
Well, I don't want to. We talked about this, so yeah. If you got stuff to say, you wanna hit it up. Hit it up. We're at about an hour 15. So
I'll do Animix quick. So Animix is a new summer game that is coming out, or maybe is just out, from Blue Orange Games. Blue Orange Games has come out with, I might have counted wrong. I think for their 2020 spring summer release, they're coming out with 20 new games.
Wow.
And they're family games and they're lighter games. And Animix is another really light game. But in Animix, players are trying to collect the right mix of animals to score the most points. And the game begins with a grid of animal cards. So depending on how many people you have, there's different number of animals, and you shuffle them up, and you put them into a grid. So the one that Dev and I played was a 4x4 grid of animals. And you start with a hand of 5 or 6 cards that are made up of the same animals, shuffled up and dealt to you.
Shuffle up and deal.
And on your turn, you only do one of two things. You take a card from your hand and you put it in your own discard pile, or you take a card from your hand and you switch it with one on the board. Oh. And then you take the one from the board and you put it in your discard pile. So you're only taking 5 or 6 turns, depending on how many cards you start with in the player count.
Okay.
And so you do this until your hand is empty. And when your hand's empty, the game is over. And everybody then flips over their discard pile, and they determine who collected the most animal of each type.
Oh.
That person who collected the most elephants, monkeys, lions, whatever, they score that animal on the grid.
Not a lot of pictures here.
There's not a lot of pictures because it's new.
Okay, I see that. Yeah, this looks
cool.
So,
first of all, the art is amazing. So if you're looking at the video, the art is super cool. So you score each individual animal, and each animal scores differently. So let's say there was this one that we had called the lovebirds. So I had the most lovebirds in my discard pile, and they scored on the grid if 2 of them were next to each other. So each one that was next to each other, I got 4 points for each of the lovebirds that were next to each other.
Yeah, I can see how on the top left they have how they score. Yeah, that's cool.
And so Devin had the most elephants. So the elephant scored, you looked at which row had the most elephants, and you got 2 points for each row, or each elephant in that row.
Okay.
So you just add up your points, and most points wins. It's super quick. So the mechanism of the collecting the most or having the most reminded me of like Arboretum.
Yeah.
Where you have to have the most. So there's a little bit of challenge of trying to go, all right, I want to be able to put this elephant on the board so I can score more points for elephants, but that means it's not in my discard pile. So maybe next time I'll take this monkey that I had and switch it with the elephant, so the elephant then is in my... So you have to manage the board and your discard pile, because I thought I had the most elephants. I'm like, all right, I'm going to win.
Yeah, right.
Devin had the most elephants, and I was like, damn.
Like, oh.
So then she had the majority on 2 of them. I only had the majority on 1 of them.
Oh,
so she ended up winning. But the game, it plays in like 10 minutes. Because you're literally only taking 5... You're only doing 5 or 6 things, depending on how many cards you have. So it takes 10 or 15 minutes, maybe 15 with more people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you just add more animals with more people. And the different mix of animals is going to create a new game every single time you play. It was fun. And again, just staring at the art was cool. I just found myself like, man, this is cool. It reminded me of like Lion King. I was like, And yeah, I would check that out. Blue Orange has a lot of really cool family games coming out. They've always been a cool family game company.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
And not like, I always think of Haba as like a really young company.
Yeah.
Yep.
Blue Orange is almost that next step of like, if you have 6,
above
7 year olds, there's some really cool games from Blue Orange that have that are coming out or have come out in the last few weeks by them. So
Agreed.
check out Animix.
Awesome. Animix. Well, it is that time again, you delicious medium rare porterhouses, for Jeff to talk about your opinions and thoughts on this episode's Instagram inbox.
And now it's time for the Instagram inbox with the Mad Board Gamer.
Welcome to the Instagram inbox. It's me again, the Mad Board Gamer. The Mad Board Gamer. Did you guys see my new logo?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Holy
It's
cow, that's
awesome.
cool. That is
Shout
a
out.
cool logo.
Plan for Games, Zach, who is the Photoshop
Genius.
Did he invent Photoshop?
I think so.
Because it's incredible. First of all, you should check out his page because each picture he photoshops into this cool. So whatever
It's
game
always
he's playing,
hilarious.
Oh my
really?
gosh,
They're always so.
it's
I
Oh, you haven't
it.
seen it? Oh, God, it's amazing. Yeah.
You have to look at his
He's
page.
been doing that since the very beginning of our accounts. I
dawn
remember.
of
I
time.
remember him being.
Well, he
on
invented
there.
Photoshop.
Yeah, right.
He is so he put this thing together quickly and he's like, how does it look? And I'm like, he's like, let me know if there's anything you want me to change. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Screw
This
you,
is the
guy. It looks
greatest
perfect.
thing.
Perfect.
It's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Looks
And
perfect,
he
yeah.
did this little thing where he connected some of the letters. He's like, oh, let me do this. This bothers me. He connected it in 1 second.
Here,
I'm
I'm
like,
gonna pull it
I
up.
couldn't even do anything. But it's incredible. So
Yeah.
shout out to Zach. Thank you so much. That was just
Good on you, Zach.
so cool. So I'm really excited about that, and I just keep putting it on all my stories. I keep stamping it in random places. So anyway, I asked a question for the inbox this week that basically the idea that we kind of have our own language sometimes, that during game night we say stuff that in the real world wouldn't make any sense. So I asked, what are some things you only say while playing games? And I got some good answers from some people.
Oh yeah.
So we're going to start with our buddy over in the UK, Jim Gamer.
Jim. What up, man?
Whatboardgame.com. And he gave me a few of them. So Jim Gamer says, oh, I've got loads. I'm assuming it could be a resource thing. And then, so he says, also, no, you can't have a drink on the table. What are you thinking? Which you go with the snack things. Could you wash your hands before you touch this? Stuff like that. Yep. He said, this one's funny. And this is myself and Ryan have said this many times. Oh, hang on. Don't put that away. Let me take a picture first.
Yep. Yep.
Everybody who's on Instagram knows that they did that as well. So ZimV 2.0 Joey says, and I had to ask her some background about this. I was like, she said, red team go, is what she said. And I was like, I don't understand what that means.
Go.
So apparently when she was younger, she used to play a game of Risk.
Oh,
And if you only played 2 players, they suggested adding a third dummy player
Color?
sort of thing. And
Yep.
it was red.
Yeah.
And you could each control this red character troops, I guess.
Okay.
So they would always whenever they moved them around the board, they would yell "Go Red Team" or "Red Team
Red
Go,"
team, go.
and that just I guess carried on through all their game
Yeah.
nights. And I always think about stuff that we say that just carries over and
Right.
over and over and over. These
Yeah,
inside
for sure.
jokes that get created.
Yeah.
Mr. Measles.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Measles said the classic one, which I was expecting to get a lot of.
Okay.
I need some wood.
Oh, yeah. Leave it to him.
Wait, that's
Yep.
when you say in and out of game.
Yeah. Come on, Measles.
Yeah.
Nuclear Knight 83.
Peter.
I'll go to the dark alley to kill this person and get 4 cubes of bone and 4 cubes of muscle.
Yeah. Okay. I know that's abomination.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
Yep. So another good buddy of ours,
That's
Nestor, he says, when I win versus my kids, he shouts, say my name. And the kids have to answer, Shazam.
He sent me a message.
Oh, yeah. He sent you one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
yeah.
he meant to send to me.
I was going to
because
say
it was one of the,
I didn't even know what the heck he was talking
yeah,
about.
so I don't know if you have
all
it.
right, here
or-
it is.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
So this is
Showing up
things
on
that he
the
says during games.
So he says, I speak a lot of Nicaraguan Spanish slang, so I might say, oi, move ese chunche. Translation, hey, move that shit. But chunche, I'm probably not saying that right, chunche, I don't know, is a double meaning word in my country, so it also means the P word.
Ooh, whoa. Yeah, because I sent him a message and I was like, thanks for the response. It was really funny. And he's like, which one? And I'm like, you only sent me one. He's like, oh, I think I might have sent that to Ryan.
Yeah.
But he's like, Ryan didn't say anything back to me.
I
That
said
was
LOL.
weird. So Mr. Day 1607, Just Buddy,
Yep.
Yeah.
and Bad Board Games covers both say that they just say, you say victory points. You don't say victory points or Lewis likes to call them Veeps.
Veep.
I'm like, well, you could just walk around and just call things Veeps. Like
Sure.
every time you do something good, just
Yeah.
victory points.
Veeps. Getting points.
Family Meeple does something that my good friend Bill does. They go, if you like it, then you should have put your meeple on it.
Yeah.
Or replace meeple with whatever you're putting on things. So that
Right.
was
Yeah,
good.
he does that all the time.
Yep. A new person to the inbox.
Ooh, hey.
Bulls and Boards.
What's up, Bulls and Boards? I feel like, is that a new
Sounds
account?
familiar.
It could
They
be a
just
new
started
account.
following me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think.
So been really active on. We've chatted a little bit, so that's been very cool.
Cool.
It says again, just things you say only with board games. Had this been punched yet? Like, and I told him, I sent him or her a message, and I was like, I say that
really
about
good.
people all the time. Has this person been punched yet? Because they should. The McMeeples, sorry for the language. The McMeeples, who is Sam and Michaela, they were formerly Don't Play an 8, if you remember them.
Right,
Yep,
yeah.
absolutely.
They're creating a board game, actually. They're going to try to get it going on TTS, so we should try it.
Really?
Cool.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Michaela, when she's winning, says, "Suck my dick." So
Don't we
I'm
all?
like, well, yeah.
Oh my gosh. So she only uses that in games.
Yeah, I guess so.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
not in the
No,
real world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
The Meeple Lane, who I've said this a bunch too. Dang it, I think I just died. Well, let me check. Yeah, I'm dead.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's really
pretty
good. So, and then Emotional Cyborg talks about how she just uses ye old English all the time. That the
Oh, really?
accents just
Okay,
change and they
yeah.
just start
I'm with
saying
her on that.
Yep.
Yeah, like and
It just comes out.
yeah, we just we sing songs or do strange
Yep.
things.
Yeah.
I just
or,
turn Southern.
Ryan
all the
just
time.
goes
Yep.
like, I'm gonna put this right here, and then it'll
Yeah.
go over here.
Gonna
and
go
then-
right there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
near it.
and right here.
Yep.
So that's it. That's some things that people say.
That's funny. I like that.
we sing songs, or I remember Eric used to sing Aaron Neville all the time.
All the
Remember that?
time. Yep.
Don't know much,
but in the world of you. But it actually didn't relate to the game at all. That would just happen spontaneously through playing.
And that's just the great thing about board gaming is that social aspect. You get these little inside jokes, and I even
Yeah.
see it with my students where they'll come in and they say something about the game they played. It's
And
great.
and isn't that the whole point of gaming? Is to
Yep.
just you have moments like that you remember now.
Yes.
you
Yes.
know?
It's the experience.
Yeah, suck my dick.
Yeah. So think about the things you say during board games and send me some funny ones.
Yeah,
and
we'd
we'll-
love to hear more of that.
I
That'd
would
be
love
cool.
to hear more.
It is now once again time, you disgusting mushroom pineapple pizzas, for Natalie to take a game through the ringer on this episode's Board Game Beatdown.
On today's board game beatdown, I picked a game that I've never played before, and I think you guys have. I'm totally not sure, so hopefully you did.
Probably.
It has 20,000 ratings,
Oh, yeah, I know this one.
3,400 comments,
Duh.
ranked number 13
Okay.
on
There's a good
BGB's
chance
top 100
we've played
games.
13.
Any guesses? Any guesses?
it. I
don't know.
Nope.
Spirit Island.
Oh, yeah, we've
Oh,
played
okay.
this.
I
Yeah.
thought you have.
Well, I
Okay.
owned it for a while.
Oh, okay. Anyways, let's see what people have to say about this game who hate it. Rick3623 says, terrible, misguided design, nonsensical theme.
Nonsensical theme?
What?
Wait, all right. I'm not a big, huge fan of this game. But how is the theme nonsensical? It's basically
Makes-
the island is fighting back against the
colonists.
Yeah, the colonists who are coming in.
Yeah.
Well, how is that nonsensical?
Yeah, that's not.
I mean, it's fantastical, but I wouldn't say it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you're playing a board game. like, come
Not
on.
the real world.
Nonsensical theme. How am I supposed to ever believe
Yeah,
that
come
an
on.
island would come back and
Islands
kill
never
me?
fought me before.
Mick Garan 1965 says, one of the worst, most needlessly complicated games I've ever played.
Well,
You can't argue with worst, I guess, but
You didn't like it?
needlessly complicated? I don't really understand. I mean, it's a complex game. You know, it's
Yeah.
it's heavy and it's big. And my big complaint with it is it's overtly difficult. It's one of those like it's
hard.
so difficult it's not fun for me games.
yeah.
But I don't think it's.
But I was never bogged down
needlessly-
by the, like,
the rules weren't
complexity of
like,
it.
Yeah.
needless.
I was bogged down by getting our butts kicked by the island.
Yeah, right. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
What a terrible nonsensical theme.
Bunny Jair says, way too much bookkeeping. 75% more streamlined would be appreciated.
Okay, I mean, I could understand if someone wants the game to be a little more streamlined. I could see that as being a complaint. I wouldn't say it's overwrought or there's a ton of bookkeeping, but
I think it's
okay.
bookkeeping.
Yeah, all right.
Peepser says, don't enjoy co-ops as they are not games, they are puzzles. Best part about the board game hobby is that there are more and more co-ops and solo games coming out all the time, which means I'm saving a lot of money by not buying any more games.
That's a good one. Well, yeah, if you don't like co-op, you don't like co-op.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
I don't-
move on.
I'm not huge with the complaint of it's a puzzle. You know,
Yeah, I like
they're not.
puzzles.
Well, plus they're not all that way. There's
Yeah.
random agency in the game and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, sure, the game can't actually make decisions, but
Right.
I don't necessarily think that means it's a puzzle. And then once you solve it, you're going to win every time.
Right.
People say that all the time. It's just come on.
Yeah.
Admiral Crunch says,
I think we've had
love
this
their
before.
cereal.
Yeah, I think we've had this before.
pure trash, best used as kindling.
We've had that's been a popular negative comment.
Yeah, people like talking about
people
burning
wanna burn
games.
Yeah. Yeah,
David
get more
AC,
creative, people.
Says, I don't get why this game is so popular. Question mark, exclamation mark, question mark, exclamation mark.
I don't get why it's so popular. Top of the muffin to you.
PTN 19 says, the theme is stupid and the gameplay is very tedious.
The game is stupid.
It's dumb.
Yeah, dumb game. Stupid dumb game.
Wolvercoat says, perhaps more fun than waterboarding, but debatable.
Disagree.
So he's like played it and he's like, let me get waterboarded.
I would rather be
waterboarding
tortured.
sucks,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It's close.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Still rather play Spirit Island, I think, than be tortured.
Yeah.
Probably.
Orange says,
Oh, an orange.
It's like the Instagram account.
Glad you didn't say banana or whatever.
Yeah.
another overwrought co-op game with an extremely stupid story. Waste of time and cardboard. This game pollutes the world.
God, I really don't.
Man. People do not like that theme.
I think the theme is kind of cool.
I think it's a cool theme. Because you don't
Anyway.
usually see
Because the
usually it's the
spirits
other way
of the
around.
island- yeah.
Yeah. Humans
I
are
think it's kinda
coming in
cool.
and constructing buildings and, polluting the
Yeah.
world. And the island's like, no, bro.
Yeah. it's
Here
like
I
fighting
come.
back.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
Come at me.
Tanek says, this game is not beautiful and not immersive.
Not beautiful and not
beautiful.
immersive.
That is one.
Okay, one.
No. Kyle White says, what would you expect from a game so unaware of how ignorant and unconnected with history its theme is?
It's not a It's not like you open the book and it's based on true events.
There's rock golems.
Come on. Well, rock golems aren't real.
Like
They're just not real.
Did they only like war, historic,
but the game
non-fictional type
historical reality. What?
It's like if I played Watergate and like Nixon wins.
Yeah, well, that's not historically accurate.
Didn't happen.
I'm not playing this crap.
Yeah, how dare you?
themes? Leech2999.
There's no cities underwater.
Stupid.
Leech2999 says, its appeal is perfect for middle-aged gamers who've played nothing more complicated than Catan-esque games and burned themselves out on noob stuff. Then they get off on the take that aspect of Spirit Island's theme.
To get off on it.
The game strategically fools them into
Making me
thinking
come.
they are smarter than they are, that they are Eurogamers, and by beating a seemingly complex game, they gain a false sense of satisfaction. If someone loves this game, I already know too much about them, more than I want to or need to know, much like the people who love
Is this Samo?
Patchouli, Ed Hardy, or the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Who is this?
Rocky Horror is good.
Leech2999.
Leech 299. So if he knows that you're talking to him and he's
Doesn't
like,
even-
"What
he
game
just
you like?"
leaves.
and you're like, "Spirit Island." Oh, I know what kind of person you are.
Yep.
What's
And then
wrong
he
with
goes into
Rocky
his
Horror?
diatribe.
You're like someone who likes Ed Hardy or the Rocky Horror. I know
Rocky
what's
Horror
wrong
Picture
with-
Show's
I get
good.
Ed
I
Hardy.
hate how people say
but-
things as if everyone in the world also thinks it's
Yeah.
terrible.
Right. I looked up patchouli because I'm like, what is that? It's like a species of plant, and it's like oils used in like perfume and incense and like
So he thinks
alternative
it smells
medicines.
bad?
It's kind of like a hippie
All right, guy.
type thing.
What's his name?
Yeah,
Leech.
Leech.
Yeah, you are a
Girl, I don't
leech.
know.
Yeah.
Lewis Holland says, it's okay. The only game I ever gotten rid of.
Wow, the only game you've ever gotten rid of, and it's okay.
Yeah, but
Man,
a one.
This person's having a
Right,
good
right.
time with
Yeah.
his games. Yeah. Yeah, but one.
Yeah,
Right.
one.
It's okay. One.
One.
Palaminus says,
Ooh.
a true case of it's not you, it's me.
Okay. That you know what?
I might agree
appreciate
with
that
that.
comment.
Yeah.
I appreciate that comment. Yeah,
'Cause
that's how I feel.
Like, you're not a bad
I'm cool
game.
that
I
people
just
love
don't
that
really
game.
like
Yeah,
you
me
that
too.
much.
I don't remember I don't know if it's Fantasy and Some Flights or Being Friends Official or both of them. They love that game, and I'm like, I want to love that game. So again, it's just we just got demolished.
Hosed.
So
Yeah.
anyway.
Big time. I tried it with Donkey Kong one time too, and we were 20% through. We were like, it's over. We've lost.
Yeah.
And then I was like, a lot of games do that to you where you feel that
let's
way.
see.
Let's play it out. No, we were just
Got whooped.
yeah, and yeah.
Wet Turtle says, way too much of a brain burner, not fun.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Big Bad Leroy Brown says, what a stinker.
What a stinker. Isn't he a stinker?
And last, Splatty says,
Splatty.
Jeff likes, Susanna hates.
Oh.
You like it.
Yeah, but
it's Jeff
Susanna
with
didn't
a
Susanna
like
doesn't
it.
like it. but you like
Oh,
it.
it's the Geoffs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Geoff likes, Susanna
Yep.
hates.
Wow. Take that,
So I
Spirit
guess
Island.
we'll give it a 1.
Yeah.
Only one of us likes it.
One of us likes it.
us
One.
Yeah,
hates
so
it.
one of us likes it, so I give it
Well,
one.
happy wife, happy life.
Yep.
Wait, who likes it? He likes
Jeff
it.
likes
Yeah,
it.
happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
Yep. She doesn't like it. Oh, okay, sweetie, I hate it too.
I'll rate it a 1.
It's terrible. Let's get rid of it.
Hey guys, I have a surprise for you.
You do?
Yeah.
I want to hear
So
it.
we do this where we take these games that are good or people really love, and we beat them down.
Uh-huh.
I found the opposite. I want to talk about a bad game and give it some love.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
So, do you guys know what the bottom ranked board game on BGG is?
Like the number.
Okay, I will tell you,
19,000?
it's 19,062.
No, I don't.
Do you know what that game is?
No.
Probably something we've never heard
You
of.
have played it maybe hundreds of times.
Are you serious?
Okay, so it's got to be like a cranium or something like this.
No. Have you played Cranium 100 times?
No.
Oh, you're saying we've actually played this 100 times?
Oh yeah, I think you've probably played this 100 times.
Is it
Not
like
exaggerating.
Crokinole?
No.
No.
Crokin's on the top 100.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it's
is
it like
something.
Class?
Yeah, it's good. No,
No,
it is.
we haven't played Class
It's
100.
like it's tic-tac-toe.
Okay, I was gonna say, I'm like, it's got to be a game that
Tic-tac-toe
we
is ranked.
Yeah.
So here's some things about tic-tac-toe. It gives, you know how BGG always gives a year, like Gates Lang.
Yeah, like
whatever.
right.
Tic-tac-toe minus 1,300, so it's been around a long time. The BGG rating is a 2.7. Oh my god! And like I said earlier, the ranking is 19,062. It is
Who's
the
it listed
bottom
as the
ranked.
designer?
Yeah, it is the bottom ranking. There are
people actually rated it. I mean,
yes, there are 3,000. There are 3,000 ratings. So I wanted to read a couple tens.
Yeah, let's build up the board game build up.
Let's give some love
Board game
to
build-up.
Tic-Tac-Toe,
Poor
which is the
Tic-Tac-Toe.
poor bottom ranked game.
Here we go.
On BGG.
Let's build you up in this episode's board game build up.
Build up.
Wow, 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 wow.
I am.
You think you're number one? You're very dead last.
We'll help you out.
make him feel
But you're
better.
good. Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
You think you're bad, but you're better.
You think you're in last place? No, you are in
No.
first place.
So I am KKA says, hey, people appreciate history.
Yeah, 1300 BC.
CFUS 2000 says, okay, look, the game is solid, sure, but A, it's free. B, it has decision making.
Yep.
It is far and away better than Chutes and Ladders
Far
and
and
doesn't
away.
deserve to be the lowest game on the list.
No, sir.
Great beginner game for kids.
It is.
So Chutes and Ladders, I
free.
think, is next or like in the
like
bottom
right
couple
by it?
three.
Yeah.
Yes. Gymnitarian.
Oh, boy.
All you need is a napkin and a crayon from Denny's. Everyone starts here, and who wouldn't take the opportunity to ruthlessly crush their 4-year-old niece at tic-tac-toe?
You gotta go to Denny's to get that.
All
crayon.
these people are
Right.
10
Gotta
out of
get that
10.
crayon from
Tic-tac-toe is a
Denny's.
game that's on like a lot of kids menus at restaurants.
Yeah.
True.
Leo Weiniger says tic-tac-toe is fucking awesome.
It has 10s and it's still rated at 2.7.
Yeah, it has a few 10s. I looked maybe 80 10s or so out of the 3,000. Tim AK87 says tic-tac-toe is an immersive game of X's and O's. You take the role of an X, working on your family farm when your neighbor O comes and tries to steal your crops. Act quickly to clone yourself and join hands with yourselves to create a straight line. But watch out, because the O's are trying to do the same thing.
Oh my God.
First player to create a link of 3 clones wins.
Wow, that is incredibly immersive. Who is
Yep.
this guy?
This
You,
is
like, put
Tim
a theme to it.
AK87.
Tim AK87. You are getting a message
Theme
from me, my
to
friend.
Tic-tac-toe.
Yep.
Yep,
That's
he themed
awesome.
Bob says,
it. Tic-tac-toe.
this game has saved the world. Did you forget about the movie War Games? Have you guys seen War Games?
No.
No.
At the end of War Games, to blow up the War Game computer, they play tic-tac-toe
Play
over and over and over and over again.
There you
It
go.
blows up.
2.7.
Joel Fournier says, overlooked early Reiner Knizia game. A little weak on theme, but very fun.
It's like what I did with chess.
I always play the X's. Get the deluxe edition. So if you're interested in tic-tac-toe, there are a few people that have it up for trade. So you can go on, you can trade.
How do you get a physical
trade a
copy of
Tic-tac-toe.
Tic-tac-toe?
So if you're looking for it, I would reach out to T-Muscle. T-Muscle says really basic, paper and pencil, it's all you need. You draw 2 vertical lines and a horizontal line, and 2 horizontal lines going into each other. I even have the paper and pencil, very clean and in good condition. Or you can reach out to DJ Flippy, who has the
Yeah,
first
I will.
edition. Paper somewhat wrinkled, only played twice. 2 X's and an O already filled in with a pencil, but it could be easily erased with little trouble. So
This is hilarious.
that was
That's the board game build-up.
board game buildup. That was
so funny.
to
I'm
pump up
crying.
tic-tac-toe a little
I'm
bit.
crying here.
I mean, you're right. I've played tic-tac-toe recently with
Yeah.
your kids. Like,
Wow, and it holds up, huh? Would you rate it the worst game you've ever played?
probably not.
2.7? Well, because it's solved, right?
I
Because
did
it's
ask
solvable.
Devin. I asked her. I'm like, do you know what? Take a guess at what the bottom ranked game is. And I told her tic-tac-toe, and she's like, I like tic-tac-toe better than that stupid Pirates game I played.
The one that you play with Joe?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
That is really funny. So, one of our awesome listeners, Sam, at Miss French Toast, messaged me about a month or so ago with a random question that I thought would be super fun to base this episode's game on. So, here's the quoted question in question. Oh my God.
What?
I forgot to send Sam Codex. Sam, I owe you Codex, and that is coming in the mail real soon. Ooh,
Sorry,
holy
Sam.
mother of gravy. I'm sorry about that. I will ship that out to you in the next year or so, I promise. So, okay, here's the question that she sent me. She said, Ryan, fuck, marry, kill with Star Wars Destiny, Quacks of Quedlinburg, and Strike. And then she says, I don't know why I chose these games other than they're ones you talk about regularly.
Okay.
I was so excited to do this. For those of you not familiar with the concept of fuck, marry, kill, you are presented with three things, usually people, and you have to pick one that you want to have sex with, one that you want to marry, and one that you want to kill. It's awesome, and it usually creates some interesting, like, oh God, I have to kill one of these people? Okay, so anyway, my response was, oh my God, easy. I'd fuck Strike because it's sexy and takes a beating, but keeps going. I'd marry Star Wars Destiny because it's the only game I've ever loved. And I'd kill Quacks in a crime of passion after I find it appearing as the fuck on Natalie's list.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
a lot of
I had
F-bombs.
so much fun.
Yeah.
I know, yeah, sorry, I'm not
gonna
bleeping
beep this
one.
or nah,
Nah,
who cares?
No, screw it. I had so much fun with that and basically told Sam that eventually this was going to appear on the show, and that one day has come, and it is this day. So, Jeff and Natalie, are you ready to play Fuck, Marry, Kill?
Sure.
Yes.
Do we have
It's going to be
write it
difficult
down?
and weird.
Yep.
So please just get into it. Try to go with the flow.
All right.
Here we go. We're going to start with our mad board gamer,
Uh-oh.
Jeff.
Yeah, boy.
All right, Jeff, your first FMK
Okay.
is Rado, Tom Vassell,
Okay.
and Rodney Smith of Watch It Play.
Man.
Jeff, who do you want
actual
to fuck?
people.
Who do you want to marry, and who do you want to kill,
I'm gonna.
and why?
Oh man.
Wow.
Oh yeah, take your time for sure.
All right. I'm gonna marry Rodney.
Okay, let's hear it.
The way he flips those boxes and catches
does he
them
do that?
is just he's an incredible talent. I can just imagine him in the kitchen flipping like spatulas and stuff and just catching them and cooking me.
You want to
dinner.
see that for the rest of your
Yeah, I
life?
just want to see that for the rest of my life.
Flapjacks.
Yeah.
And I'm to understand that he has the world's best cuticles.
What?
Yeah,
That's not
people,
a thing.
people. Yeah,
That's a
I'm
thing?
on the secret.
Oh, because
Cabal.
Can you even see people's cuticles?
Well, yeah,
Maybe.
he's constantly touching components in his game, and so people will have commented
get
been like,
manicures?
"You have no." So he talked about it. So he was asked about. I can't remember if it was the Secret Cabal podcast he was on or Blue Peg Pink Peg, and they asked him. I think it was Secret Cabal, and they were like, what do you do to your fingernails? And he was like, I trim them myself, I guess. So he doesn't do anything to them. Anyway, so that's your Mary. Okay.
That's my Mary.
All right.
I'm gonna fuck Rado. I'm gonna fuck Rado because afterwards I want him to do a run through of our sexcapade
Oh my god.
because Rado runs through our sexcapade,
Rado's gonna run through your butt.
and then
Oh my god.
and then no
You need to
offense.
put like a warning before this.
yeah,
I will.
I gotta kill Tom.
Got to kill him.
Sorry, Tom. I like him, but the other guys got you beat, and
You need to.
and
someone has to die.
He doesn't listen to our podcast.
Right.
So
Well, I don't think
Someone has
anyone
to
do.
die.
what are you talking about?
No, Rado and Rodney Smith regularly send me
You mean your
messages.
lover and
Yeah.
your husband do listen to the podcast?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And I feel like they would also help you hide the body. Where I think if you
Yeah.
killed someone else, Tom Vass will turn you in right away.
Yeah, because he's really like nice.
Yeah,
he's a nice dude.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Rado's
man.
gonna be
got
like,
Sorry, Tom.
morals.
let's just go to Malta and everything. No one will know.
Let's run through.
All right,
Kill
that's
the body.
great. Nice. So, as a recap, Jeff is marrying Rodney Smith.
Yep.
Because he wants him to watch him flip spatulas
It's
in the kitchen.
Fun thing for the rest of our lives.
He would Grotto so he can get a recount of how it went.
Yep.
And he would kill Tom Vass.
Sorry, Tom.
Natalie, your first FMK is The Office.
Okay.
Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah, bro.
And Parks and Rec. Which one are you going to marry?
Boy.
And which one are you going to kill and why?
What? How do you? It's a TV show.
Yep, how do you do it?
Yep. How do you
Gotta
do it? How do you bang the show?
Gonna have to do it. Bang.
Well,
Gotta bop
okay.
'em.
I think that. Do I have to go in like the order?
I don't
I
care. No,
didn't.
Jeff didn't. He went marry,
Okay.
fuck, kill.
I'm gonna marry The Office
Why?
because that is like a for life show. Like You watch it over and over
right.
and over again, and you never get sick of it, and you're just always in love with it,
Wonderful.
just like the person you would marry.
Yep.
Wow.
right?
Okay.
Okay.
Safe answer.
The
She's
other
like, oh
two,
my god.
well, I mean, I guess. Oh, I put that on. I guess I would fuck Parks and Rec.
Okay. Why? Sexy Rob Lowe.
Yeah, there's a lot of pretty
great
people
shape.
on it.
Yeah, he is.
No, I don't know.
For like 10K.
Well, I like Parks and Rec better than Everybody Loves Raymond, and it's like a close second to like The Office. And so it's like if I can't marry Parks and Rec, then I'll just like fuck them.
Parks and
There
Rec
you go.
turns me
You know?
on more than Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah, 'cause
And
we
then-
got
No one,
Rashida
no one on
Jones.
that show turned me on.
No. And then I guess I would kill Everybody Loves Raymond because his mom would drive me insane, and I would be forced to
gosh.
murder.
Yep.
Wow.
Murder
Would
just
drive you to death.
All right.
All right, let's bring it back a little bit more normal here, Jeff, with your second one.
Okay.
All right, Jeff. Crokinole,
Okay.
Underwater Cities, and Happy Salmon.
Ooh, the Hap Salmon.
Which one are you gonna fuck? Which one are you gonna marry? Which one are you gonna kill?
I'm gonna marry Underwater Cities. That's just my game.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yep.
my game.
That's it.
You're in it for
You
life.
can play that game
Those new
forever.
boards just turn me on. So I'm just gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep Underwater Cities is getting married.
Okay.
And I think I'm gonna have to fuck Crokinole.
Because it's got a hole in the middle.
It's got a hole in the middle.
Oh my god.
And also, yeah.
And you get 20 points every
And
time
there's
you
all
do
those
it.
pegs around there. I can, there's flicking. I don't know what's going on.
Flicking,
Yeah, you can use
flicking
your
its erect pegs.
Yeah. You
Natalangus.
need to be creative with the pegs.
Yep.
You have all
said the
these
hole.
discs.
Well, it does have a hole in it for sure. It comes with a built-in glory hole.
Oh,
That's
boy.
all too low.
And then I guess I'm killing Happy Salmon.
Okay.
Which,
You kill it.
sorry,
and
it's
eat
just a fish, so I'd fry it up.
yeah.
Fish don't fry in the kitchen.
All
All right, Natalie, your second FMK.
Oh boy.
A good back rub, a glass of wine, and paddleboarding.
Oh wow. All right.
Which one you gonna fuck? Which one you gonna
Okay,
marry?
oh.
And which one you gonna kill?
All right. Who?
It's one of these you never ever want again.
I know. Honestly, I think I would kill
Uh-huh.
a glass of wine because I'd just like kill it, knock it back.
Man.
Wow, that is not what I did not see it going in that direction. You got me there. That was beautiful.
And then I think I would, paddleboarding and good back rubs. Those are some things I like.
That's the game.
I tried to pick them.
Okay, I think I would go with paddleboarding. I would fuck paddleboarding because it's like a temporary, quick, like enjoyment thing.
And you can't do it all year round.
Yeah, you can't do it all
In
year
Michigan.
round. I get a quick fix of, paddleboarding is amazing. I can't do it for very long.
You're making love to paddleboarding.
Yeah.
You're fucking.
And a
back
good
rub.
back rub, I would take that all day, every day, forever.
Oh, that's what you're marrying. You're
Yeah, I'm marrying good back rub, fucking paddleboarding,
son.
and I would kill a glass of wine.
Kill
right
that
about
man.
now.
The way you, killing the glass of wine. I'm really that's great. All right, we're going to more board games, Jeff. For your
All right.
last FMK,
Okay.
we got Azula,
Okay.
blue, Wingspan, and Coimbra.
Ooh. Wingspan.
Azul,
Coimbra.
Wingspan, and Coimbra. I cannot wait to hear why you want to fuck those birds.
Man. Oh, boy.
This is a tough
Mary-
one.
Yeah, I think I'm going to fuck birds.
Oh my god! New quote.
Yeah.
New quote when you're promoting Gamecasters
Yeah.
episode 44.
I think
I'm gonna fuck birds.
Like
Listen, find
it's
out why.
flashy. I think that's why. It's flashy. It's got that tower. Like you look at it, the art's beautiful. You just look at it and you're like, I would fuck that game. So I'm gonna go with Wingspan. I'm gonna fuck. I think I'm gonna marry Coimbra.
My bones.
Oh, my bones. I have avian bone syndrome. I think I'm gonna marry Coimbra because Coimbra is one of my favorites. I can get
You're in love?
I can get lasting joy out of Coimbra.
Oh,
over
poor
and
Azul.
over
That
again.
means Azul's getting
and
killed.
then poor blue Azul.
I think I know why you want to kill this one because it would be so satisfying to crash
To just
all of the.
be like shattering glass.
Yeah, shattering
glass
or
on the
like
ground.
Mosaic tiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it.
That's awesome. Although, wait, is Sagrada the glass and Azul is the
Sagrada's the
tiles?
glass.
Still, it'd be satisfying to hear the tiles crash on
you
the
like
ground.
take like a sledgehammer.
Yeah,
And smash them.
that's hilarious. All right, Natalie, you're. Yeah, I think I want to fuck birds. Natalie, you're last. Fuck, marry, kill. Ryan James,
It's not even any games.
Ryan Reynolds,
Oh.
Ryan Gosling.
Are those your Ryans?
Yeah.
As soon as you start with
I
Ryan
think
James,
they're
I gotta
Ryans.
hope I'm not on this list.
I thought about doing that, like me, Jeff, and Dave, or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah. No, Ryan James, Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Gosling. They better all be me except Kill. You better fucking marry
that's not
me
the rules.
and kill the rest. Yeah, I know you
I
got to
feel
do
like
it.
I'm obligated to marry you because
Nope,
I'm
you're not.
actually
Nope,
married to
you're not.
you.
This is just a game.
You're gonna kill me, aren't you?
How about marry Ryan James, fuck Ryan Reynolds, and fuck Ryan Gosling?
Those are two fucking. You got to kill one of them.
Fuck, Mary.
One of them has to die.
It's like Duck, Duck, Goose.
Okay, I got
Yeah.
it.
Fuck, Mary.
I'll marry Ryan James. I'll fuck Ryan.
Yeah, what do you do here?
She wants to
Who
kill
are
you, but
killing?
she's just not
She wants to
doing
kill me. You want to kill
No,
me.
I don't.
it. Not in real world.
I can't believe you want to kill me.
I mean, how can you pick? They're both perfect.
Both,
But not you.
They're both perfect.
I mean,
They're not all
And she's
perfect.
just-
They're both perfect.
Well, you're perfect because I'm married to you. You're
What?
not even in
That
the
doesn't
running.
make me
You're
perfect.
not even in the running for
Listen,
the kill.
you can kill me if you want. I know that's what you want
no, it's
to
not
do.
what I want. Ooh, okay.
Then I'll do Natalie James, Natalie Dormer, and who was another hot Natalie?
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman. All right.
Hold on. Let me
Natalie
think.
Dormer.
She's she was Marjorie in Game of
Marjorie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he
super hot.
likes her.
Thrones. Yeah, he does.
She always looks like this.
To stop avoiding it, you have.
Okay.
Yeah. Kill me already.
All right.
I'm here.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, you're stuck in the married position.
All right. So you were ineligible to
I forget
kill
the other
me.
two. Ryan, who and who?
Ryan Reynolds and Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Reynolds. Okay,
So
I'm
The
just gonna
Notebook
go with
and what's the other
Yeah,
one?
he's Deadpool. I know Ryan
and
Reynolds,
Deadpool.
yeah.
yeah. Okay, I think Ryan Reynolds has like always been like my thing because he's really funny
So you're gonna have
and
him.
good looking. I'm gonna fuck Ryan Reynolds and then I'll fuck and then kill Ryan Gosling.
Okay, I'll allow that. You'll-
It's like a praying mantis.
Death by snoo snoo. Yeah, you'll like kill, you'll
Yeah.
strangle it. Oh, he's dead.
Man.
Wow. So that was Fuck, Marry, Kill.
Wow. You didn't
this
even give me any game.
Episode. Nope.
No.
Nope. And I gave Jeff mostly games. I gave him Rado, Tom Vassell, and Roddy Smith.
Okay,
though.
do the Natalie's.
Natalie James, Natalie Dormer, Natalie. Okay, that's easy for me, honestly. I'll have to do the same thing. I'll marry you. I'm gonna Natalie Dormer, and then I'll kill Natalie Portman.
I like
With
Natalie
my
Portman. We need to do a disclaimer at the beginning.
There's gonna be a lot of
Yeah.
disclaimers. Yeah, there'll be lots
Just
of
put it at the
disclaimers.
beginning of this segment.
I will.
Tons of
Like, there's a lot of effort.
sexual
Yeah,
conduct.
stop.
Fast forward to this
High
minute if you're around
sensitivity.
kids.
Yeah.
So, what that's going to lead us into is our top 5 for the episode, or our 5. Because this is one specifically where we are not necessarily doing our favorite top 5 games, but we are going to give you 5 heavy games.
Heavy
We've
ass
given
games.
you Gateway. We've given you our middleweight games. We're going into the heavy forum here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with me. We're going to go me, Natalie, and Jeff. And with Jeff. Okay? So the way we decided what was a heavy game is we went on Board Game Geek and said anything 3.5 or over is what I did. It's really over 3.5.
too.
Yep.
And it was that simple. I mean, Board Game Geek game weight. We've talked about it many times. It's not
Subjective.
It's very subjective.
Yeah.
It's not an objective thing. But this is it's if you get something 3.5 or more, this is heavy.
Yeah.
Okay. For our circumstances. So my number 5 is a game that came in at a weight of 3.98. I know Natalie didn't do this.
Ooh.
And it is She did. Oh, you did do it.
It seems like she did.
Yeah, because
She's
she would have
I don't know
said
what
she would
you're
have said
saying.
already.
Oh.
No, I didn't.
So you did-
Did you do
no,
the weight?
I didn't. I'm
I
talking
did the
about
weights.
Okay, yeah.
That was what I was talking
Oh,
about.
I thought you meant the game. I did the weights last
Constantly.
second because
Maybe
I knew
I'll
I was
kill
going to
Natalie
not be that
James.
person this time. Hey.
Kidding. So this is a game with 3.98. You have never played it before. It's called Anachrony.
Oh.
This game is so freaking fun, and it's
on the
a
list.
yeah, it's on the list. It's a worker placement game, and it's all about time travel, which is awesome. You get to
cool.
go back in time. It's got this one really cool mechanism. I won't talk much about it. It's got this really cool mechanism where if you need a resource that you don't have, You can go back in time in the past and get it, but then you have to pay it back in the future so it's still there. Or else it creates an anomaly and it screws you up.
The butterfly
it's
effect.
really, really cool.
Yeah.
Butterfly.
Cool.
It's really cool. So that's my number 5, Anachrony. Natalie, what is your number 5?
Again, this is a list of heavy games, not necessarily ones I like. I don't like this one, but it is.
That I like.
Wait a minute. You put a game you didn't like on your top 5?
Yes, because it deserves it with how heavy it is.
Okay.
Right? It's
going
rated
games.
3.99, and it is a game called Go.
Oh, yeah.
okay.
This game
really shocked
breaks
that you
my
put this on here.
brain.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
It's hard.
It's very heavy. It's very old. I feel like, how could I not put this on here? Because, ouch.
Yeah, that game has no rules. That's probably the quintessential easy to learn, hard to master.
Yeah,
there is.
Simple rules, heavy AF.
Yep.
I just watched the movie Knives Out recently. Have you seen that?
Nope.
It's newer. It's like a murder mystery kind of thing. But they play Go in it.
Oh, they do?
Really?
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wait, Knives Out. That's the one with Daniel Craig, right?
Yes.
Remember you were like, oh, what's this movie?
It's pretty good.
You just saw it, and you were like, what is this?
I just saw the movie?
No, we saw
The
like a
commercial?
Oh, like it was on?
like Netflix or
I think she's thinking of
Prime or
Ryan
whatever.
Reynolds.
No,
probably
No,
Ryan
this was
Reynolds.
not me.
Yes, it was you.
Okay, Jeff, what about you? Number 5,
My
man.
number. Hey, I have a thing. I looked up.
Okay.
So, did you know that there are only 3 games in the top 500
That are
that have a
rated a
weight
5?
of 4.5 or above?
No, we did.
Do you
not
know what the 3 are? I bet they're gonna. I bet some of them are gonna be on a list here soon. So maybe
Are
I won't
they
say them, but I'll say them
Vital
at the end.
Cerdas?
No.
Not all of them. 2 of them are, but
Oh, you're saying not
one that's
5, 4.5,
4.5
or higher.
and up. There's only 3 in the top 500. So it seems like there's a weight at which people are like turned off.
It's like too much.
Yeah, well,
that's a little,
lot
like-
of them are that are
yeah,
weighted
it's
are
War
war
Game
games
City.
and abstract strategy.
Yeah, the war games are just the popular. When you go really high in that weight, the war games just fill it up. I have no war
for
games
sure.
on my list.
No, I don't know.
Me neither.
I would
they
say-
might
yeah,
be
I would
on the
say,
list.
like,
They might be on your
Did you
list,
say it
so
at
I'm
the
gonna
end?
wait. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll wait. Or we'll forget and it doesn't matter. Number 5, I have Dungeon Lords. It
Awesome.
comes in at a 3.55, so just over that thing.
It feels heavier than that.
It feels
to me.
heavier. I also
That's a
the
heavy
theme
game.
is so cool. Like I like games that kind of
Nonsensical
flip-
theme.
Yeah, nonsensical themes. So you're the bad guys. You're fighting off the warriors and you're fighting off the people coming in to try to. So it's a cool game. It's heavy. There's also Dungeon Pets, which is probably just as heavy.
I've played it.
So
I like Dungeon Lords better. Most people seem to not, but I like
Yeah.
Dungeon Lords better than Dungeon Pets.
it's a cool game. I would check it out if you're looking for something a little heavier than your normal play. It's got a lot of
Fantastic.
rules. It's a great
A
game.
lot of Shavaddle. Good
Yep.
one. Good one. All right, number 4 for me is a game that comes in at a weight of 3.58. It was number 1 on Board Game Geek for many, many, many years. And Natalie and I played this not that long ago, and we were kind of surprised at how much we enjoyed it. And this is Twilight Struggle.
Ooh.
Very good, heavy game. It's not as heavy rules-wise, but this is just a game that's going to crunch you and take forever. It's a long,
Yeah.
Yeah,
long,
it's long.
2-player-only game. But it's really good, and we love it a lot, and that's Twilight Struggle.
Nice.
Natalie, what is your number 4?
My number 4 is a rating or a weight of 3.83. And it's an Uwe Rosenberg game called A Feast for Odin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this game had a lot going on.
There
Like
is
a lot.
ton.
That's heavy because of all the actions.
There's a
Right.
Right. There's so
ton to
much
do.
stuff.
So much to
Yeah.
do, and it's like, what do you do, and
Good game, though.
how do you... Yeah, it's a good game. This one I actually
It's a
like.
good game. I like this game.
It's good. It's good
Yeah, it's
game.
also got the polyomino mechanism, which was
Like, off to
the
the
basis
side.
for Patchwork.
No.
Patchwork was created as an offshoot of, while he was designing A Feast for Odin, he was like, oh, I like this thing. I'm going to make a game out of this. And that's how Patchwork came out. And Patchwork came out
Wow.
like a year or two before Feast for Odin actually
Oh, really?
came out.
Cool.
So a little fun fact. Awesome. Great.
That's my number 4.
Jeff, what is your number 4?
My number 4 is the sister game to a game I think one of you might say later. It comes in at 3.66. It is Zolkin, the Mayan calendar. Zolkin is, again, I don't know if I would say it's super heavy, but again, I think if you're starting and you're trying to get a heavy game, you're going beyond the Castles of Burgundy and those type of game.
Yeah.
I think Zolkin's great. Zolkin has
Zolkin is
this
heavy.
awesome looking gear mechanic where the big gear in the middle shifts and all your workers shift, and rules are simple. Mastery is really difficult. Timing is really important in that game. I'm also increasing in value, so that was a 3.66.
Nice,
so we're
okay.
only going up.
Only
from
going up
there.
for you,
Okay,
huh?
nice.
Okay, that game is so hard for me.
Yeah, that's one of the games I feel like
won
you said has beaten you.
one time, and I remember this because we were at Grand Con. No, we were at Michicon, and I was playing with, it was me, Jeff, and 2 other guys who we didn't know. And there was one point in the game, I was just like playing the game. Jeff looks at me and he mouths, like, "You're going to win." And I was like, what? I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. And he was right. I ended up winning that game, and I was so proud. I've played 3 times since then, and I've come in literally dead last every time. And I'm like, I suck at this game. That game is smarter than me. Great game. Heavier than it feels. Like, I think heavier than the weight. To me, it feels heavier than the weight. That's awesome. My number 3 is a game that clocks in at 4.15.
Whoa.
And this is a game by that publisher I talk about loving all the time, Chip Theory Games, and this is Cloudspire. I talk about Too Many Bones Off. I left games like Too Many Bones off. I actually left the sister game Tzolk'in off the list. I left Caverna off the list and Terra Mystica off the list. Teotihuacan.
Yeah.
Left all that off.
And more sister games are coming out.
Yeah, I know.
I'm excited.
Oh my gosh. There's 2 more, and I want them. Yeah, sister. And they also have very difficult to pronounce games. Or names. So Cloudspire, fantastic game. I've talked about it a lot. It is very, very heavy. There's a ton of rules, and this is an example of a rules-heavy game where there's just a ton of little keywords to memorize and stuff, which I would guess is probably one of the reasons war games are so heavy. Is there's just a ton of little rules that negate other rules. And anyway, that's my number 3, Cloudspire. Check it out. Natalie, what about you?
My number 3, I was kind of like, what should I make?
Oh, I'm like stroking off for a while.
I was last minute deciding. Okay, my number 3, it's one of those things that you said you left off because we talk about all the time, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's one of the best, and it's 3.96, and this is Terra Mystica.
Ooh, yes. Number 2 game of all time
it's
for
just
me.
like so great. How can you not have it on a list of heavy games? So I'm going to throw it on.
I know. I had it in my honorable mentions here.
Yeah.
Love it. Great game. Yes. Jeff, what about you, man? What's your number 3?
Game I played a few times. This is a Stefan Feld condom.
This is the Stefan Feld condom.
3. No, it's not.
Oh, really?
I went
okay.
sideways.
Oh, okay.
Because so I could have filled my list with games we already been like Trajan. If I was going favorite games, Trajan, Underwater Cities, Legrand, how we've talked about. These games are like some of my favorites, but I want to kind of highlight some games we haven't talked about. So this one is
start with a B.
Yeah, this is 3.74. This game is called Bora Bora.
2 games in a row that are way smarter than me.
And Bora Bora is a tough game.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's a dice placement game. I feel like we should play it again.
Yeah, we need to.
Because it has a very cool mechanism of playing die, but you have, the higher number, the more stuff you get, but the lower numbers get to go in front of you, so you may not get anything, and you have to play a dice that's lower than the one that's already out there. So if you roll low numbers, you can be like, all right, I'm putting a 1 here, and you basically block that space from everyone else, so no one can put a 2 there. So it's thinky.
Man, I remember that being very difficult.
I remember playing it. I don't remember anything about it.
It was difficult.
It was a long
I remember
time,
that.
though.
Jeff smoked it for sure. All right.
Bora Bora.
Number 2 for me is a game that comes in at 3.71. We talked about it earlier, designed by Bruno Cathala. This is Chess. Or was it Bruno Faduti?
Bruno Faduti, of course.
Yeah, Bruno Faduti back
Maybe it's
in
a combination. Maybe it's a duel.
2200 BC. He had released a Kickstarter. Yeah, Chess. What haven't I said about Chess that I've talked about lately? It's awesome. It's heavy. It's great. Kind of like Go for Natalie, where it's just easy to learn, hard to master. Very difficult game.
Yeah.
Go, I think, is even heavier, but that's my number 2. Chess. What is your number 2?
Is
Moose Poop.
3.81 CO2.
Yeah,
good one.
CO number 2.
I love that game so much, and this is like one of those games that like it's heavy, but it's still really fun. It's not like so heavy where you're like, I can't do it or I don't want to play it all the time. Like this is. It's like the sweet spot of heavy games. In my opinion.
It's got that thing where I guess kind of like Spirit Island. It's very rare to have a cooperative game be so heavy.
Yes, and I like that it's cooperative, so you can share the heaviness.
Yeah, it can lighten
amongst your partners.
It should be worth noting, I guess, that the original CO2 was designed as like a semi-cooperative game, and then the new version that we have has a fully cooperative variant, which is the only way I want to play it.
Yeah.
So awesome choice. Jeff, what about you, man? What's your number 2?
Number 2, this is a game that like blew my mind. I played it really early in my gaming career, and it was way over my head when I first played it, and I've gotten better at it since, and I've beaten the person who always wins this game.
I know it is.
And it also just has a new reprint that came out. So this is a 3.81. This game is called Kalis.
And the reprint, I think, it changes things. It streamlines things.
Okay, it does.
Yeah, I don't think it's the same game.
I'm curious if then the weight is similar or higher.
People are loving it.
But Kalis 1303, I think, is but I would think if they're going to reprint and streamline it more, the weight might go down.
That's right. I think it's a little lighter.
This game is tough. It's a city building game. You're building the city on your own area, that's economic, it's worker placement.
Yeah.
It is tough. And we would play with Bill, who was like a savant at this game. And and if you're looking for a game that's just strategy, there's no randomness, there's no rolling dice. Bill always said the only randomness is who goes first.
Yeah.
Like that is the only time where you're going to see there's no like card shuffling or I didn't get this in time. It is strategy. So it's a heavy game, Kalis.
That was probably the first heavy game I played, and it turned me off for a while to
really?
Euro games. Because I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. It's confusing the crap out of me. This was back in like 2010, you know, and I'm like, I can't do it. So I only wanted to play Ameritrash after that, and then it wasn't honestly until I played Belfort that I was like, oh, I can. And then I played Kalis again later. There was one play. You might not remember this.
Yeah.
Me and Jeff both beat Bill.
It was amazing.
It was like the crazy. We were just like, oh, we got to beat him at this tile. All right, let's do. We were like kind of working together, and Jeff beat me by like 1 point, and then we beat Bill by like 5 or 10. It was like the greatest. It was the greatest moment ever. Okay, so number 1 for me is various different weights, and it is whichever Vital Lacerda game I've played last.
Yep.
And I know that's a cop out, but that's totally true. Yeah. Honestly, I played my first game of his that I ever played was Vinos, and I was like, "This is really good. It's heavy."
At Eric's house,
At Eric's. I was like, "This is good."
I know.
And I was like, "This is awesome." Yeah. Then I played the Gallerist, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is the best. This is so awesome." And then I played Lisboa, and I was like, "I don't know how, but this is better." And then I played CO2, and I was like, "This is the greatest one yet." And then we played the Gallerist again, and I was like, no, this is the best. And then I played Lisboa again, and I was like, no, but this is the best. And then we played CO2 again. Seriously, every single one that I've played so far. And then, which one I guess, well, this is the last one I technically played, I guess, so maybe this is what, On Mars. And then I played On Mars, and I'm like, this might be the best game I've ever played ever. So, On Mars is the last one I've played, so it's still true for that thing. Yeah. However, I don't know if anything's going to dethrone that. Yeah. I have not played Escape Plan, which I have, and I have not played Kanban, which I have coming. Those are the only 2 that he's got that I haven't played that are big heavy. So I'm interested to see what I'm going to think about those. Yeah. But they are amazing. Jeff, do you want to talk about one of those top? Or
both of them.
The 3, they're both.
Both of them are on there. So Lisboa is a 4.56.
4.56.
On Mars, a 4.61. Yep. And then Advanced Squad Leader, which I've never heard of.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
so
my God.
Those games are in the top order. Game. But really, when you look at these heavy games, those are the only games I feel like that are this heavy that are not war games, that are not strictly war games that take hours and hours and hours.
I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he does it, but they are all so
good on him.
And meaty. And what have you played of his? You played CO2.
Played CO2. I've played Vinos.
Is that it?
I've played.
Did you play the Gallerist?
No, maybe that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they're.
But I'm interested in all of them. I'm getting On Mars. I'm getting Kanban. So I'm getting all of these.
Yeah, you're gonna, and then I'll have all of them. Yeah. Once I get Kanban, I'll have them all. All right, Natalie, what is your number 1?
My number 1 is rated a 4.61.
Oh, Mars. Okay.
No, yeah, it's the same. Yeah. I thought yours would be On Mars, but I can't not put that on there because it's so the heaviest game we've ever played. Yep. But it's also so great. It's just it's such a good game. And like I played Lisboa, and Lisboa is really heavy, but I didn't like it as much.
Lisboa feels heavier to me than On Mars.
It feels heavier to me too. But I think it's more like it didn't click. Maybe that's why. And it's just like it's heavier. It's basically just as heavy, but to me it just wasn't as fun. On Mars is so heavy, but like still like
gripping,
and it's. I mean, the rules. There's a lot of them, and you probably need to be reminded of them. But they make sense. It all flows nicely together. It's just, how do you make this work, and in the heaviest way possible? But I don't know what else to say about it. It's just a really fun game.
Does it, man.
He does it.
Yeah, he does it. And like I've played Lisboa, I've played the Gallerist, and like not Lisboa so much, but like I've enjoyed those 2, but not even close to On Mars.
So your top 2 games are Vital Lacerda's.
Yeah.
In this one. All right, Jeff, that ends it with you, man. What is your number 1 heavy game?
Ends it with me. This is a game comes in at 4.04, which is made by the company that creates all these war games. It's a game called Dominant Species.
I have not. I cannot believe Bill's had that game forever. I can't believe I haven't.
So I played it a couple times with him, and the game is super heavy. So you're like, you're these species. It's an area control game, and Bill is very good at it as well. And I remember, so Dave had recently just played it. Maybe it was Dave, Eric, and Bill, or Dave, someone, and Bill played it, and Bill was like complimenting. He's like, "You're doing really good. This is your first play. I'm really impressed." And Bill won by like 70.
Yeah.
So he just like flew at the end game. He like figured it out. But that is a game that is tough. And if you like really competitive, take that area control with a lot. Like this is a deep game. So GMT, that's
Dominant Species. I have wanted to play that game for a while. I didn't know there was a ton of take that in there.
Well, it's you have to push people off of different tiles, and you have to take control of different things.
Sure,
so there's
area control.
yeah, just normal.
Take that's inherent.
Yeah,
to
it's
area
not
control.
like the stealing. You know,
True.
I'm doing like stealing stuff.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Awesome. Well, that is the top 5 heavy game list. Do you want to talk about any honorable mentions? I have a few. Mostly I talked about before. Terra Mystica, Caverna, Too Many Bones, Teotihuacan, and Tigris and Euphrates just missed out being on there for me.
Yeah, Caverna, like the ones we said, Gallerus, Lisboa, Too Many Bones, Gaia Project,
Gaia Project.
Terraforming Mars.
Oh man, I want to play Gaia Project
yeah.
again.
If you like, Gaia Project 433, that was a big one. I want to say like we know that these games are. We know the good heavy games. These are ones that I think maybe slide under the radar a little bit, or people want to get into it. So we know if you love war games, we know that there are probably amazing war games that are this heavy. We just don't play them enough.
Yeah,
we don't. Play,
Right.
So
Yeah.
don't be like, well, this game's heavy. Like we know.
Yeah, this isn't the heaviest games there are. These are just
good
games
heavy
we
games.
enjoy that are heavy.
Yeah, that
I
we
had-
want to put out there.
Maracaibo is 3.9.
Yep, I thought that was an honorable
Maracaibo.
mention.
Trajan always one of my favorites. La Granja, one of my favorites. That one just snuck under. Underwater Cities just snuck under. Yeah, and I had Gaia Project and Lisboa
What
and
was
on Mars.
Trajan rated?
Mombasa.
3.65.
That one seems good.
Yeah, Mombasa.
That seems like a good weight
Yeah.
for that.
Yes.
3.65, like it seems accurate.
And that's like my wheel. The 3.5 to 3.7 is like my wheelhouse. That's
Yeah.
like the games I love.
So we were talking about Vital Lacerda games. I saw there was a Instagram post, and I want to shout out who it was real quick because it was impressive to me, and it was shocking that I saw a post. Okay, Lucy. I don't know who this. The account is BG Diaries. BG Diaries _, and they put a post out, and the post was them playing the Gallerist, and then. Right after the Gallerist ended, they played Lisboa back to back.
And they just like,
and I was just like, "Whoa!"
did their head explode? Was it just like,
Dude, yeah, like that. First of all, that would take all day, unless you've
maybe they've played it before.
You've
in
played
their-
it before and
sure.
played it a bunch. You know all the rules.
If you didn't have to learn the rules for both and like play right after.
Can you imagine playing, like 3 hours of the Gallerist and then 3.5 hours of Lisboa, like right? Because you finish one of his games, you'll finish it, and you're gonna be like.
You're gonna be like,
need a
Like,
nap.
that was
"Woo."
exhausting.
It
Yeah.
is.
I need to go
especially
relax.
for me anyway. Especially Lisboa. I
Yes.
loved it, but at the end of it, I was like,
At the end of
don't
the
know if I'm
rules,
gonna
I
be
was
able to
like,
do this.
oh my god.
yeah, the rules were like an hour and a half.
Did we not
Yeah.
just play it?
Hi,
like that?
yay. So that's going to do it for us tonight, everybody. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can find us on Instagram at Gamecasters or at Mad Board Gamer. Both of those accounts service the podcast. We also have a Facebook group that we have been neglecting a little bit, but just search Gamecasters. You'll find us there. You can also email us, please, at thegamecasterspodcast@gmail.com. We also have an incredibly barren Board Game Geek guild. Natalie, Michelle, James. So if you'd like to head on over there, Natalie, we are Guild 3678. Okay. If you like the show, we'd love it if you consider giving us a rating on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else you listen to the show that allows you to rate us no less than the highest rating possible, please. All music for this and every episode was produced by Jeremy Pete. If you enjoyed it and want some of your own for your next project, please email us to discuss. So, for Natalie, Jeff the Mad Board Gamer, I am Ryan, and you have been listening to The Gamecasters. Good night, everybody. Hey, Jeff, could you talk into that mic for me?
I can talk into that mic for you.
Hey, Natalie, how about you? Can you talk into that mic for me?
Yeah, I can talk into the mic for you.